Welcome, connoisseurs of fine common cardboard, to today's live stream and to this Let's Build with Melek, Izzet Paragon. And today I am joined by my friend Maldhound. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing very good. I heard that you brought me here to do some type of in-depth smasher pass. Is that accurate?
That's right, exactly. I think we can all agree that Melek is a smash, whether you're killing it or the otherwise. But
Oh,
you know,
definitely yes.
you got to be into some kinky stuff for this guy. Melek here looking like what? What is this, like some sort of a goo, an ooze, a plasmordium?
Got
Uh,
an ooze. I believe the term is those goo grippers.
the
Is I think the I think that's I because I think I did actually smash this thing because of those goo grippers. I'm not the
Yes,
electricity
yes,
worries me a little.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I mean, some people are into that kind of thing, right? Like,
that is
it could be
true.
kind of exciting to have a massive pair of hands to grip things with, or to be gripped by Melek. Who knows? Whatever you're into. I think,
Some of
uh,
us just want to be held.
yeah, that's
Some
right.
of us just want to be held.
And I think Melek offers out something for everyone because kind of gender non-specific here too. So we've got a little bit of everything for anyone to like with Melek. But I'm super stoked. We're doing this Let's Build around Melek Izzet Paragon. This was downshifted in, what was it? This was in Commander Masters, I believe. Yep, Commander Masters. We got a downshift from rare to uncommon, which caught a lot of people's attention because this commander is, I think, somewhat popular in Commander. This is the BOGO commander, as you described it, for
Mhm.
dickheads with ADHD, which I loved your video. God.
Yeah, dude. Listen, I'm gonna tell everybody this right now. You ever see four generic, one blue, one red land destruction? It's all you got. If you let an Is it player get 6 mana, there is nothing else that's happening.
It's serious business. This person, as you said, is going to take a turn so long and so stupid that you'd mistake it for a NASCAR course. Am I right, folks?
Yeah.
I got that one on lockdown here. But Melek, let's take a look at the commander. We're going to head into the build here. We've got Melek Izzet Paragon. This is a 6 mana Izzet commander. It is a weird wizard, as if the wizards weren't weird enough. And this commander is a 2/4, allows you to play with the top card of your library revealed, which you've described as gloating. And you get to copy the spells off the top of your library, their instants and sorceries. Uh, this has a number of different facets to it. The first things I notice about it is actually that this is clearly a combo commander, right? But it has 4 toughness, and 4 toughness is like a bit of a hurdle in cPDH when we're working in Pauper Commander. This is dodging bolts. This is dodging a lot of the 3 damage effects, and it doesn't die to our own sweepers, which is kind of important because this thing is fucking 6 mana. So we need to buy time is kind of what I'm thinking. We need to buy time and then we combo off. And you're familiar with the combo, correct? I think we talked about this yesterday with Mystic
Yeah.
Sanctuary.
Yes, we did talk about it yesterday. I believe it's Mystic Sanctuary Snap, and then
Mystic Sanctuary and well, actually, Snap
oh,
does do
Ghostly
something.
Flicker.
Ghostly Flicker. We've got Ghostly
Ghostly
Flicker.
Flicker. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, some crazy
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah. My fault, my fault.
You're all good. Yeah,
Ghostly Flickering.
yeah. This is
Right, because then Mystic Sanctuary keeps putting your Ghostly Flicker back on top.
yep.
And is there a creature involved in this?
No,
I don't creatures.
you literally just take that ghostly flicker and you target the Mystic Sanctuary in another land. It copies it, it flickers it twice, and you make 4 mana for 3. Ghostly flicker goes back on top, and you make infinite. And what's pretty exciting about that, of course, is that this is one of the tightest combos in the entire format. For those of you watching who maybe aren't familiar with cPDH or with Pauper Commander, the combos tend to be 4 cards. They always involve a creature, and they can be a little bit clunky. You have to assemble them, right? But your clocks on the ground are a little bit slower too because you're working with commons. So for this to be a commander that you just resolve it and then you have Mystic Sanctuary in play and a Ghostly Flicker, you can really combo really quickly, and the payoffs are very easy. A Rolling Thunder, a Fireball for X's 30,000. We can do all sorts of stuff with this. It's a very tidy combo. So let me get the YouTube chat here oriented so that folks can see that I am indeed seeing them here. Welcome everybody who's joined the stream today. I hope you're having a great day. And I'll get back to your comments here in just a moment here. What do we got? We got Alex says, evening, cutie pie. Oh, you as well. We got two of them in here. Maul's a good looking lad too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, come on, yeah.
Come on, yeah. What? Hey, he was probably saying you.
Sure.
Lucifer says, I was just looking at this last night for a new deck. Well, that's fabulous, Lucifer. I think Melek is really exciting, and I'm a huge fan of commanders in cPDH that combo that can defend themselves. And there's a lot of commanders that don't do that well. If you're in Simic, your counter spells are pretty much all you've got. You really don't have sweepers.
If you're in Simic, you're a bad person.
Yeah,
we need to make that clear.
Yes.
I got no time. I got no time for any of you green-blue players. It's an unholy matrimony that should never have been made. I know that sounds racist. Okay, I know that sounds racist. But these two, like, oh, they make me so mad. I don't even know who Simic commanders are in Pauper.
Simic commanders in Pauper are just as cancer as they are in other ones. There's ones that are in EDH too. You know Tatiova, right? Yeah.
You are not about to tell me Tatiova is a Pauper commander.
It is. It sure is. In fact, Tatiova has the dubious claim of having been a really like kind of the boogeyman of the format, because if we look at where things evolved from, when I started playing cPDH, Tatiova was the commander to beat. It was the commander to win against. To beat Tatiova, people were playing other Simic commanders like Leyweaver, Loreweaver that could go a little bit faster, or like Izzet Guildmage, things like that. Simic is very good. Tatiova was among the best and is still a very good commander. The Graveyard Hate has gotten a lot better in the format, and it's just people know better how to combat it. But it uses combos with a Tidal Bore. Are you familiar with the card? This is a weird one. Okay,
is it
some Simic bullshit?
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 mana. I can return an island. I can okay, tap or untap.
Yeah, that danger text right there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we have a scout in play that puts a land into play. You Tidal Bore. So you tap it to put a Mystic Sanctuary in with Tatiova. You Tidal Bore on the stack to untap it. You bring the land back, and you gain a life, and you make infinite blue. Okay, Scout, untapping the blue with the Tidal Bore. It's extremely hard to interact with. You need Graveyard Hate, and even then it's pretty tough. So yeah, Tatiova is good. Gretchen, also really good. Gretchen Titchwillow is really like a top-notch Simic combo commander, where we're basically using like Freed from the Real combos with a creature that untaps our lands, and then we're using auras.
Freed from the Real is in this format?
Common. Yeah. Yeah, my bud. You're not Sniff Owl. What is this? Wait a second. What is this nonsense? Hold on one sec. I need to.
You got me fucked up.
I do. Where is this here? Where Maldhound plus PNG? Here, one sec. We got this all fucked up. Hold on one sec.
No, we got
chat.
We
watch out. We have to fix this.
We gotta switch the tag. Anyway,
yeah.
I cannot believe Tatiova is.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Me so sad. She can't keep getting away with it, man. I do have a Tatiova deck on Arena that I only bring out when I'm having a really bad day.
Yep. I mean, that's Tatiova is very good. So one of the things that we see with those combos is they're very vulnerable to Graveyard Hate. This one has a little bit of that too, but we have lots of ways to interact. So yeah, definitely a great choice there, Lucifer. Penguin Purple, welcome. Let's go. Great to see some more cPDH. Awesome. Yeah, this format is amazing. For those of you who were here yesterday when Mald and I did a 9-hour, was it 9?
9 hours, 14 minutes after signing our man up for 4 hours front to back.
I got hoodwinked. I got baited. I got you baited hard.
The TO introduced the stream, left to go to work, did his work shift,
did his laundry, home, got a career, had kids,
had a kid, sent them up
grew
to college,
old,
got
vacations,
back on the stream to commentate Thug Finals. which is what we eventually had to get
Thug
to.
finals.
It turns out a best of 5 can in fact take 10 games to resolve, and
Yeah.
we made it happen.
It was insane. We had a blast though. That was some of the most fun I've had like watching Pauper ever, and we had some incredible decks. I mean, it was a wild experience. So yeah, no, it's great people getting into it, and really for folks who are enjoying Pauper, Pauper Commander is an amazing pair-in with that because you're working with the same card pool, except that the ban lists are flipped. So in Pauper, you have a pretty significant ban list because there's been a lot of broken commons printed throughout time, and all of those cards are legal in cPDH. Temporal Fissure, Paragon Drake, High Tide, like some really disgusting shit is legal in our format. Sinkhole, Dark Ritual, you Brainstorm, Ponder, Preordain, Opt, Portent, all this stuff, all the incredible card selection. And then in cPDH, the only cards we have banned are Mystic Study and Rhystic Remora, or the other way around, Rhystic Study and Mystic Remora. I always get those two swapped. And so they're really inverted. So you're still playing with that pool of cards, though, and it'll be very familiar to you. So we've got Felix Royale. Welcome, my friend. Good to see you again. Captain Orion, Alex, Dax, welcome. We've got Victoria. Good evening. Lucifer. Why a username dude? Why a username
that's
dude?
one of my mods.
Welcome, buddy.
That's one of my mods.
Hell yeah, good. Yeah, we got all sorts of good stuff. So we are gonna hop right into this now that we've got your interface representing your actual name. We've done this before. This is not.
We've done
new.
this many times. This is about the 8th time that I've co-starred, and it's actually just a running joke that he does every time as he introduces me as somebody that I'm not. Last time it was Fallon, which I appreciate.
Yeah, that's right. So Melek Izzet Paragon. We've got 121 cards in considering. Okay, so we've done a little bit of work ahead of time so that we can, convert on this video and not go super long. Evening, Dax. Good to see you there. But the first things first that we want to include are going to be the core, of the combo of the deck, right? And that's going to be finding our Mystic Sanctuary. Where is it here? There it is. Mystic Sanctuary.
The only land. The only land.
We're going to play one land.
One lander.
It's going to be like one land spy.
Yeah.
So we're going to
mulliganing until you find it.
Yep. This is it. We're looking for that 1 in 99. We will mulligan to 1. We're going to put Mystic Sanctuary in here, and we're going to put every way that we have to tutor for the card into the deck. And that's going to be Lorien Revealed, which I'm sure you're seeing this all over EDH too, right? This card is just like a Magic staple now.
Lorien Revealed is really shockingly good. I think like it hasn't reached the crackheads in Modern or in Legacy, but
it has. Oh yeah,
it has.
Oh yeah, no, Lorien Revealed is all over the place because you know what it does is this is a land that finds duels. It also finds Mystic Sanctuary and it pitches to Force of Will. It's a land that pitches to Force of Will.
Right.
And when you top deck it on turn 12, you just draw 3 cards and you're like back in the game. This card is nuts. And we talked about this early on. When these cards first spoiled, I immediately made stuff on Twitter and was like, this shit is busted. Like, these are staple in every format. Took a little while for everybody to figure it out. But look, Troll of Khazad-dûm is like staple Reanimator stuff now in Legacy. You go turn 1, Dark Ritual, Swamp Cycle your Troll, reanimate it, double grief your opponent. It's just like, it's some dark shit, dude.
So evil.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. So Lorien Revealed is great.
Letting people ramp, Gavin.
I know. They can't help themselves.
Stop letting anybody ramp.
WotC is so degenerate that way. We have a couple of other ways to find our Mystic Sanctuary. That is Tidal Terror, which can island cycle. It's also just kind of a big 5/6 blocker if we need it. It can do some like unblockable damage stuff, but mostly it's going to be tutoring for Mystic Sanctuary if we don't have it. And if we do, then it's just going to be a big blocker. So we can also tutor up our duels. That one's good. Shoreline Ranger, we were just talking about Tatyova. Classic Tatyova strategy was to end step. You cycle, island cycle for Mystic Sanctuary, uncounterably, and then you flip it into play and you combo at instant speed on your opponent's end step with the land cyclers and the tidal bore to make infinite mana, and then they boomerang they capsize the whole board, or they draw their deck with Whispers of the Muse or some other draw spell, right? And this is also going to work here because this card is also an island cycler. So we've got those ones there. We also have Expedition Map, which is another way for us to tutor it up. This one's going to be really good here. We're going to move that in. Chat saying Cloud of the Dominus needed here to protect that. But yeah, we may play Cloud of the Dominus. The only trouble with Cloud is that it is a sorcery speed protection spell on a commander that demands removal. Like you said, Mald,
Yeah.
right? It seems like too juicy to be like resolve my commander and be like I'm going to protect it for the rest of the game, and everybody's going to be like fuck no.
Yeah, like Melek's got nice buns, but he does not like 4 toughness is good, but
Yeah.
he does not have a donker. And you want to have like if you're going to be trying to protect something at sorcery speed, I don't even try to protect Niv Mizzet at sorcery speed.
Yeah.
That motherfucker is a 5/5, and even then I'm playing him with 7 mana.
Oh yeah.
For a 1 mana spell pierce. So yeah, you
I think we're looking at like dispel, intervene, hexproof stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
it's got to be. That seems to me like where we want to be is something along those lines. And actually, I forgot to introduce this too, but not only did you make a great video on Melek, but you're a Niv Mizzet enjoyer. So this is like right up your alley because one of the ways we're thinking about winning is with pingers, right? You don't need to have much of an outlet.
Fucking bread and butter. It's the card. You just load a bunch of cards into a minigun and you.
And you go boom, boom, boom. And, we've got a lot of tools for that. One of the things that we have as a dynamic in cPDH right now that's really common is pingers are like a big part of the meta. And so this is actually like a very fair game plan that we can just win the game with. Like if there's another combo player, for example, at the table and they're faster than us and they get a lot of the hate, and then, we're kind of able to sneak on through a bit like a rat, and then come out with like some big storm turn, oops, I've got Snap on top of my deck. Let's ritual,
Oops.
and then maybe at some point we like find Merchant Scroll and we decide let's go cast, cast a Frantic Search, and then maybe we take our Bloodwater entity and we put Frantic Search on top, and then we cast that and we double it and we make more mana, right? That kind of stuff, right? And then we just go off. We just go off and we cast a lot of spells and we kill a player. Maybe we kill 2. Maybe we kill, and then we just grind. Like we can just do that. There's a fair game plan here. So we'll come back to these ones here. We've got all the lands for the tutors. We've also got the Ghostly Flicker. Ghostly Flicker, the key part of this is that it targets lands. Really wish this card didn't for everybody's sake in Pauper, but it targets lands, it targets artifacts and creatures. So that one's going to go into the main deck. We talked about the pingers. What do you think? Let's just maybe move these one in right away.
I think anything that's a pinger has to be a yes.
Oh,
because at the end of the day, we got to kill people.
Yep.
Whatever, I'm going to make infinite mana. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. We got to advance the game state through the reduction of life totals, my man.
Yeah.
And
this is important.
5 is enough that I don't care what we'll go to 15 lands if we have to.
Yeah.
Being able to, because with stuff like pingers, some people are foolhardy enough to allow you to keep them, but especially in like the world of Niv Mizzet, because Niv's already a pinger. Most people can pick up what you're putting down. That if you let the Izzet player keep a pinger, you are about to get shot in the chest by a million little thumbtacks. And so I always think of it as like the first pinger's free in the sense that you are sending that dude out to die.
Yeah.
You are walking that thing out to get hit by, and I don't know what the most common removal is in this format, but like you're sending it out to get bolted or something.
Yeah.
And most of these we're looking at 1 toughness, 2 toughness.
Some of them are 3, but they all die to bolt. We can be clear that all these cards die to everything in the format. Some of them don't die to all the sweepers. Captain Orion says Unruly Catapult. Yep, it was missed. Yep, we got that one in here. This is the new one, Mald, that we just got. This is just a 3 mana 0/4. So actually like pretty chonky, right? It's a defender, but this is the same thing as Thermo Alchemist, but it's just an artifact.
4 toughness is really important.
Yeah, I'm happy to pay the 3. Right?
We're free from Bolt.
Yeah, dude.
We fucking made it out.
We escaped
from under the auspices of the goddamn mono red players. But so like you need every pinger because we have now it's 6 with the bridge in there, and you're hoping. you have to draw 2 of them, right?
Yeah,
If we
yeah,
want to win, if we want to win the game, we have 6 copies and we have to draw 2, and that's a
yeah.
tough place to be.
It is. It is. We're gonna draw a lot of cards, so I think that's gonna be
Mhm.
good. We have other pingers that we could play too. Blister Spit Gremlin is one of them. This one, if we go infinite, we can actually pay the mana cost on the tap. So it depends on like how hard we want to go into, into the combo element of it. Because again, these are just like 1/1s that die to everything. They die to our own sweepers. That's like kind of a
Yeah.
concern too. But yeah, this one here, if we go infinite with Ghostly Flicker and make infinite mana, then we can pay the 1 and untap it every time, so that we can
Hmm.
get the trigger and ping people off. That one's an option. There's also the other one is the Sawblade Scamp, and I think this works. So you go Sawblade Scamp, you cast the Ghostly Flicker targeting it,
Okay.
and then that puts the counter, the oil counter on it. Before it resolves holding priority, you remove the counter, ping everybody. It flickers it, comes back in. You get the ghostly flicker back on
And then you
top, and then you do it again. Triggers, ping it, flicker because it has haste, right? So this one does
got it.
actually that does actually work in a weird way. Um, but in the same vein too, like Spitfire Lagak works too, right? Because we're flickering our
That works.
lands.
Oh yeah, does it?
Isn't
That
that
does
kind of
work too.
funny?
That's stupid. We could be
Wow.
fucking. Is it landfall combo?
Dude, this is a
That's
3/4
good.
too. This is like not small. I kind of like that.
So I I do like. I think of the three, Sawblade Scamp is the easiest auto include because even if we never hit our combo, we're going to be casting approximately 97 non-creature
Yep.
spells over the course of the game, and so
Yep.
it's like that's always going to work.
Yeah.
And there's the potential that we lay it down turn 1 and it just it catches the bullet for
Yep.
like our gutter snipe
Yeah. Yeah.
instantly.
For sure.
And then the Spitfire Lagak is now the thing is what scares me about Lagak is I'm a big fan of consistency, and if you don't hit flicker, Lagak kind of sucks because how many lands are we going to be playing
Yeah.
after we already have 4 mana on board?
Right.
It's really good in that so it's a resilient
Right.
combo finisher. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of half and half because it's
So
really good for the combo
it is. It
and it's
is. It's very
really bad
resilient.
for everything else.
Yeah. I mean, so let's do the math on it, right? Let's say we draw it in our opening hand. One of
Mhm.
the things about Melek, of course, is that we have a lot. We need to ramp, right? So a lot of our deck is
Yeah.
going to be dedicated to ramp. Um,
Mhm.
if we ramp hard with the number of twos, we could play this on turn 3. If the game goes till turn 10, which is kind of like about average is turn 9 for
Yeah.
cPDH, then this
Mhm.
would presumably get as many as 7 triggers naturally over the course of the game, which 7 times 3 would be 21. That's like almost, what is that, like 20? That's like 25% of the table's life total. 30, almost 30% of the table's life total. So it's like
Yeah,
if it's in our opening
that's not
hand,
inconsequential. Yeah,
yeah,
so really good in the opening, and it is really good in the uh 4 toughness seems like a very important
it
break
is.
point for
Yeah,
because then uh it could theoretically catch a bullet for that was meant for Melek,
yep.
but I don't think anybody's going to spend a bullet that they want to spend on Melek on this thing unless you have put the fear in them that you're running the flicker combo, and they like unless they can crunch the numbers in real time to identify that this is a ghostly flicker outlet, they're probably not going to so it might be worth
Yeah, it might be
including.
worth it. I mean, it's kind of interesting too because when we make infinite mana, and actually somebody commented on this, Captain Orion said, but then you don't get infinite mana if you're flickering the Sawblade Scamp, but you do. So you make infinite first, right? And
Mhm.
then you start targeting the Sawblade Scamp and doing that. So it does
Yeah.
work that way. But then the question
The
is like, why would we play this if we could just play something like, I mean, to be quite honest, uh, like just any creature that flickers, like, or any creature that is an ETB, like something like Stormcaller or Myria's Outrider. It doesn't matter really how much it deals. It just needs to do 1 to everybody, right? So actually, in some ways, something like Myria's Outrider. I mean, I just had this wild thought. Okay, this just crazy thought entered my mind. What if instead of being like hyper focused on instants and sorceries, what if this deck had a bunch of creatures that ETB'd and burned the table, and then our combo, like what if we dedicated a number of slots to like some chonkers that come in and ping everybody, and then they block because people are going to come after us. Like, we're scary, right? Like, our combo is very
Yeah.
compact, and we've got this
Mhm.
degenerate 6-mana commander. Kala says, "Oh no!" I join, and the first words are, "When you make infinite mana."
Yeah, it does turn out, everybody, that if you make infinite mana, doesn't matter the order you do things after. You have infinite mana. You can do
Yes.
whatever the fuck you want. You can buy Cuba. Like, you don't. It's not a thing of like, oh, but if you flicker Sawblade Scamp, you
Oh,
can't make the infinite mana after. You're doing everything else after you have made infinity money,
all of
right?
it.
It's not.
I mean,
But what will you have left for a loaf of bread? Infinite.
but what
Okay,
else?
man.
But what will we do with the rest of our deck? You've gone
Right.
infinite. You won.
Yeah,
It's
it
all
turns
over.
out Ghost of the Flicker just keeps coming
Yep.
back.
Yep. I mean, we've
So
got like
the
Gitu Journey Mage even, which is weird, but it's like 3 mana, 3/2, enters the battlefield if you control a wizard, which Melek is a wizard. You nug everybody for 2. Like, I'm just a big fan of like clogging the board with bodies, because we clog the board with bodies. We trade into our opponent's stuff. In cPDH, that works really well. We trade into our opponent's stuff. If they start to run us over, then we just cast Swirling Sandstorm. 5 damage to every creature in play. Or we fireball the rest of them. Or we, fiery cannonade or breath weapon or sulfurous blast. Like, it's kind of like, and then people are in the dumpster, and then we can start to really generate value because we're just an Izzet deck, right? Maybe
Yeah,
that's
so
like,
what I'm gonna argue is if we go every step we take towards the ETB route makes a critical assumption. That critical assumption is that we're drawing Ghostly Flicker. And so
yes,
if we want to go with the chonkers, I think and this will come in later, but I think we then drop most of our sweepers because we
okay,
only want I think we only want to be we're gonna do the 30-second how Maultown builds every deck. Decks only have 3 qualities. They have consistency, they have potency, and they have resiliency. Consistency is how reliable you do your thing. Potency is how fucking crazy it is. Resiliency is how good you are at stopping people from fucking you up. And when we talk about having chonkers, we're talking about resiliency.
yeah,
They also contribute to potency because they act as they're now ETB burn outlets if we ever get
right,
this Ghostly Flicker combo off. But they contribute super badly to consistency of a deck, because if you just get them down and we don't get to our flicker, and maybe like what if somebody plays the Doctor Who dinosaur and they start making 7/7s? You made a deck on that.
I
What
did,
if that son of a bitch comes for us? We still And so I think it's
yeah,
either we run chonkers and we abandon sweepers and we have more card advantage and mana advantage, or we run these little things, we run sweepers and we aim to do one or the other.
right,
Like, we aim to
right,
sweep the board and then put our pingers down. But if we're running chonkers is fine, but it necessitates like that has to be where our board control is coming
yeah,
from,
right,
because if
right,
we allocate slots to them and then also allocate slots to sweepers or to even like direct damage spells
yeah,
that we're
yeah.
hoping to use to keep the board clean, then we have no slots left to draw out the stuff we need to make them end the game.
Yeah,
So that's kind of where my
absolutely.
head's at. So I'm
I,
happy to go either direction.
I
But
think
if
you're
we
totally right about your assessment on this. It's like we have to, and it's part of it is because we have such limited deck slots, and there's so many things we
Yeah.
could do. The question is which one is going to be the best for this particular strategy. And I think the big question is going to be with Melek. A lot of the concern is that it's expensive and it's somewhat slow, right? Like, if we get this out
Mhm.
on turn 5, maybe like turn 4, something like that, it's not actually going to be protected. So, so we
Okay.
really, we
So
really are looking at like a 5 or a 6, turn 5 or 6. And in the meantime, we have to survive in some way. And that's going to be either with a combination of blockers or sweepers. But that's kind of what I'm
Okay.
thinking. And we've got Arya. Welcome.
Yeah. All right. What's up? I've got the nuts for you. So
Okay.
since you understand the Pauper meta much better than I ever will, I know you've previously stated damage on board, most common way to get the job done, right?
Mhm.
Like people
Right.
are punching each other to death. Yeah, Arya, Spitfire LeGlac is draft chaff. That means top of the meta in Pauper. Okay, that's how it goes. That's how the upgrades work. If when it comes to dealing damage, are more people going wide or going tall?
That's a really good question. Yeah.
Because that determines whether we valuing a 4 or 5 toughness or power body
Yeah.
is really important if we can hold it up as you have to trade into this, or it can just stiff arm your stuff. But if more people, if like the top of the meta creature commanders tend to go wide, having 1 4 5 is meaningless in the face of 31 1.
Of course.
But then Breath Weapon becomes the best card ever printed.
That's
so
right.
In your assessment, do you think it's more typical, because we're building for the theoretical position of a table with 3 other people, do you think it's more likely to be threatened by somebody with 1 or 2 steroid abusers, or by like 45-year-olds with baseball bats?
Yeah, right. So then this is a great question. In cPDH, are we seeing a lot of go wide or go tall? It's actually a mixture of the two. We need to be pretty prepared for both. I would say though that like a 4/4 in this format is big. Gurmag Angler is really big. Like Dargo is huge. 16 commander damage is what we work with. So like a 7 or an 8 power creature is like massive. And so like a card like Maria's Outrider, it actually kind of fills in the same slot as a card like Academy Wall, which is a 0/5 for 3 mana that loots every time we cast our first instant or sorcery during any turn. And those kind of cards hold down the fort really well. There's also Pneumatic Wall. There's a variety of like these like combo or value creatures that have like big butts that survive. And so like a 4/4, you're right, it is surviving all of our sweepers. But if you look at the sweepers, it tells you a lot about what the format is, right? Like these sweepers are pretty like widely played, I would say. Breath Weapon, Fiery Cannonade are both 2 damage sweepers, and they kill most things. They kill most combo creatures. They'll leave a couple of things behind, and then that's what we need things like bounce spells for, or maybe like the Scred, Galvanic Blast, Lightning Bolt type stuff where we might get them bigger. And then if it's really big, we have Shiny and Psychic Impetus. Are you familiar with these Impetus cards?
Yes, I love Shiny Impetus so much.
Card is insane.
I am a certified goad gobbler. Any
Yeah.
fucking chance I get. I did Edgin. I've done Furcrag. Like God, I love forcing people to attack because everybody's just such cowards. Nobody wants to fight. And the treasure token ramping is
it's real good.
Honestly insane. If you lay it down turn 3, or like you get a ramp thing, you lay it down turn 2, like it will make you so like nobody appreciates how much money you can make.
Yeah.
If you put it on like the first good body that gets laid down by your opponent. Okay, so
on top of that, Shiny Impetus is a massive 2-for-1. If you take a Dargo that's 7 power and you give it 2 power and you say it's never attacking me again until everybody else is dead, your opponents are going to kill the Dargo and you're going to get a 2-for-1. Right? And if they don't kill it the first time and you get a treasure, then it's like ramping you, it's killing your opponent's creatures, it's taking their removal, they're fighting over it. Like I took a Passageway Seer that was 9 power one time, and I put a Shiny Impetus on it, and it swang at the rest of the table for like the rest of the game. And I survived at 1 life. I won the game at 1 life because I got both Impetus. So these cards are like cracked insane. Put it on a big thing. So this is like we need things to kill things that go big, and those are like killing them, kind of, right? They're giving us time and value. We did have a bunch of comments here. I want to address Arya stuff here. Holy hell, the stream delay is 20 seconds. Yeah, it's not actually 20 seconds, just so you know. It's the we just hadn't gotten around to your comment yet, but it's about like three, 5 seconds
Arya
or
is just
something.
a liar.
She's just
Don't trust
they're just trolling. They're just trolling on us. But once no more than 10 creatures we're playing, is it combo control? I think that that's possible, Arya. But the other question is like, you know, my concern with combo is actually not winning. It's about not dying because
living long enough to get the win.
Right. You need to have like tools to stabilize. That's like my opinion at least. And I think there's a lot of people in cPDH who would disagree with me, but like I see like when I play, my specialty is preying on combo players. So when I build this deck, I'm building it to beat me. Right? Like and to beat me, I need to have like tools to reset the board so that I have time to eventually get my combo because the thing is that the ways we get our combo are really plentiful and they're really efficient. Right, like Ghostly Flicker, we can tutor for with a Merchant Scroll. We can tutor for with Drift of Phantasms, which is a transmute. So we have lots of ways to get this. You know, there's even other ways that we could go about, like Muddle the Mixture can find Merchant Scroll, which can then find Muddled Merchant, which can then find our Ghostly Flicker. So this is all very tidy, so I'm not really concerned about the winning part. Like the winning is literally Mystic Sanctuary and Ghostly Flicker in our commander. That's like so easy that I'm really thinking about how we don't die. And that's why there's like a lot of creatures in here that we're considering. We're not necessarily sold on them yet. A number of people mentioned that like there's Rakdos Gut or like Boros Gut, which makes a lot of 4/1 skeleton tokens. That's like a really good thing to sweep up with the sweepers. Dargo also being a popular commander. Crackling Drake is another one that gets quite big. So yeah, the disparity between big and small, there's kind of everything. And then Arya also asked about the Ophidian Eye Curiosity combo. And that was exactly what I was kind of thinking about too, is like Tandem Lookout with all these pingers is like another angle to do basically build your own Niv Mizzet and draw a shitload of cards.
If Niv Mizzet's not legal in the format, DIY is possible.
We're going to do it, right? So Tandem Lookout is an option that we could play here that's pretty free because we have all these pingers, right? And the other thing is that Tandem Lookout has Soul Bond, which means that we can pair it when something enters the battlefield. So if we actually just like randomly cast a Miria's Rider, we can just Soul Bond to it and draw 3 cards.
Immediately, yeah.
Right? So
that's good.
So I kind of like that. I kind of like where that's taking us. And then, boy, we have a whole. God, the comments are coming in so quick. Can't answer them all. Wall of Heat is one of my favorites. What is Wall of Heat? Is this another pinger?
You're talking about Wall of Feet? Because that's a Rule 34 thing.
Wall of Feet. Hey, everybody's got their own thing, right?
Every deck that has ever existed is only trying to do one thing, and that is replicate the glory that is the Niv Mizzet player having 40 cards in hand. All of your green decks, all of your Orzhov shenanigans, any of you are trying to do is replicate the same feeling that I get when I play Spectacular Showdown and I throw 40 cards into your chest, killing you instantly.
Yes.
None of you are ever getting close to that. So
what do you think about this one here? We've got Derek in the chat. He's actually a member of the PDH RC. Welcome, Derek. And he mentions Coronation of Chaos. We can actually double this with Melek to put 6 creatures into the arena and make them clap each other. That actually is quite interesting. We're deep in the sauce here, so you guys throw your ideas out here.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say no, only because this is a card that's great if we were going really deep on recurring instants and sorceries. And I think we're gonna run out of creature room. So we may decide to change directions.
Yeah, check this out.
Because I would prefer to choose the cards from the perspective of we are almost certainly playing this without the Melek advantage.
Yeah,
and if we're playing it without the Melek advantage,
is it good?
Goad 3, because we're never swinging. And so part of the value stapled onto that card is preventing them from blocking.
Yep.
Which is good where it's good if we have 3 people playing mono green Stompy. And all 3 of them, right? If they all 3 have a 15/15 dinosaur and they can all beat each other and not block, It's really, really good. But in in a situation where people are going wide, when people are going wide, hopelessly bad.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
if only even if only one person is going tall, hopelessly bad.
yeah.
And if even doubling it to 6, I don't know how. I'm trying to think about non-popper commander because that's what I mostly play. I can't think of a time where I would want Goad 6 over something like even Brainstorm. Like I would
Yeah,
much
right.
rather draw 6 than Goad 6.
Yep.
I would much rather if we're looking at the same CMC, I would much rather Depths of Desire and
Yeah.
bounce 2, ramp 2. I would much rather sweep for 4 and kill my own commander because I can't read. I would much rather flick 2 coins. I would rather frantic search. Like every
Yeah.
3 mana, all of our other 3 mana options, or even like 2 to 4 mana options if we're being real, uh, I would almost always
Right.
prefer to see those versus see Goad 3. Although there's one dream situation where all 3 other players are on the Doctor Who dinosaur and
Yep.
they've all juiced up a bunch of 7/7s,
We
and then
got
in that
problems.
situation, hitting them for Goad 6 is the most
The most
then
hilarious thing ever.
yeah,
Yes.
then
Seven
you've
sevens.
replicated the Niv Mizzet feeling. So
Yeah.
I don't think we should bring it only
Yeah.
because
Okay.
it relies too hard on playing the other person's game.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Coronation of Chaos here. Now this card is kind of like a red fog. That's one way to look at it, and I think that there's usefulness there because it's causing our opponents to go at each other instead of us when we're the target. I think that with Melek, the way this is going to work is that in the meta we have 30 to 40% combo players. If you sit down at a table where you're the only combo player, your main goal is to stay alive so you can combo. So you try not to die, right? Like if you try to turbo combo, it's pretty tough. If there's a second combo player, we're going to be slower than them, and so we'll be bought some time for that, which will be really good. It'll be like a smokescreen for us. So the Coronation of Chaos kind of plays a little bit like a red fog. We have other fogs that we can use for that, like Downsize is one of them. That is a blue -4 -0 to the whole table, except for your stuff, which we could consider as well. But yeah, we've got a bunch of comments here. The Rush of Knowledge asking, yep, about whether we can play that. That's a 5 mana draw 6 if Melek is in play, but if it's not, then it's like only drawing off of the rock. So it's like a 5 mana draw 3, or it's a 5 mana draw 10 if we have Melek. Thumbs down to Dragon Fodder, thumbs up to Empty the Warrens. Interesting. So Empty the Warrens it's not cast when you copy it, right? So you don't get the double storm trigger. But if we've cast other spells in our turn, then we can make a bunch of them. The thought with the Dragon Fodder and some of these token makers here, Forbidden Friendship is the better one. Rally at the Hornburg is that these are just 2 mana, make 4 bodies that we can gum up the board with, right? It's like another way of preventing damage. But
You just want dudes.
oh
You just
yeah,
want to play army, man.
yeah, yeah. This is part of the question because what we could do and what you'll see a lot of people doing with this deck is that they're going to have like no creatures and they're going to be heavily reliant on these sweepers and their removal to not die. And I am less interested in that approach. I think that my concern there is that we just end up dying. And so building in a
Okay.
couple of these things that are synergistic, I think, is potentially the better approach. But we'll have to see.
Then
Like
then let
Arya
me
recommended Burning Prophet. This card is amazing. Burning Prophet is actually scrying 1 every time we cast a non-creature spell. So what we can do is if we go infinite but we don't have a pinger, then Burning Prophet puts Fireball on top of our library or Rolling Thunder. We scry till we get to that card, and then we double it up and we kill the table, right? It's not
Mhm.
really about the doubling. It's more about putting it on top so that we have it, and then we cast it from the top with infinite mana and we kill everybody. So kind of a cool one. We also have another version of that, which is Cruel Witness. Same thing, except it has to surveil to do that.
Yeah, and I think in the position of, so I'm picking up what you're putting down,
Yeah,
and I think the sugar I'll pour on you is we should go a little bit creature heavy, and we need card selection, and then we need to only bring or card selection or recursion. So stuff like Burning
Yeah.
Prophet or Cruel Witness, and then the stuff that puts instant sorceries back in, and then we're committing to only taking the absolutely most efficient options
Yeah.
for control, card draw, everything else,
Yep.
and then just hoping that we get those back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Arya does make a good point, is that we're running a lot of
The
we're
sweepers.
making a lot of little dudes in a
Yep.
deck that wants to control the board. And so maybe if we go creature heavy, I think again it comes back to you drop the sweepers.
Yeah.
Because if we only want to compete on the board one way, because it's not how we're winning.
Yeah.
And
So
if we start if we have a two-pronged approach to competing in an arena where we don't intend to win the game, it's like taking too many tools from the way we actually want to win.
Yeah, I think
So
I think you're right with the dragon fodder type stuff. Except there's one thing, which would be like, do these things give us a turn where we don't need to sweep the board, and then we can sweep the board? So they're kind of like buying time. It might be something like that, but I think there's probably better ways to do it, right? Like maybe the only ones we play are like Serpentine Curve, which actually seems like these make huge bodies. I mean, these things are big. Like casting just one of these could be big enough to block a Dargo pretty easily, because we're just instants and sorceries in the graveyard. But making two of them off the top is also quite interesting. I know that in terms of spells that we can copy, there's Hard Evidence, which is another like blocker that draws cards. This is 1 mana, make 2 0/3s, and then investigate twice if we copy it. But in the early game, we can just cast it. It's kind of like a Seagate Oracle. So that one seems kind of good if we're talking about bodies.
So let's trial by fire, and let's learn by fucking up.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Creature, I think Academy Wall has to go in.
Okay.
It's 5 toughness,
Yeah.
loot on instants and sorceries,
Yeah.
and we need to grind to card selection.
Yeah, this card is like all-star. And actually we have another way to tutor for our combo pieces that I just realized, which is actually Shield Wall Sentinel. And Shield Wall Sentinel is an interesting card in that it tutors up a card with Defender. And the cards we have with Defender are actually Academy Wall, which is just a good blocker in a pinch. But the other one is actually Drift of Phantasms, which finds us Ghostly Flicker. So you can tutor up Drift of Phantasms, find the so it's a long chain. It's expensive, right? You're like 4 mana to find a 3 mana transmute for a 3 mana spell, but it's an option we could consider. I'll just leave this one in the sideboard for now. And then what about this? I just wanted to throw this idea out there. What if we cut the pingers that were only 2 or 1 toughness?
I was about to say,
like Erebor, Flamesmith.
I was about to suggest Erebor and Firebrand at least go out, because like we have too many creatures.
Yeah.
Mari had already mentioned like 1/1s and our sweepers is a non-bow, but the 1/1s we want to throw under the bus. The pingers are things that we hypothetically want to live, and if we want them to live, then they are a deterministic non-bow with the sweepers that we're also going to use to control the board.
Yeah.
So I think at least Erebor and Firebrand go out. And I think we hold on to Gutter Snipe as a maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Gutter Snipe is so good.
2 damage instead of 1 damage on the ping is we desperately want to keep.
I want that. Arya had a good point actually. Let's get another one of the fundamentals here. We going into the pingers is actually like that's one way of winning, but the fundamentals here that we were talking about before is like the Mystic Sanctuary, all the ways to tutor for it, and the Ghostly Flicker and all the ways to tutor for it. And now what we need actually is the ramp, because ramp is so key. Like we've got to get to oodles and oodles of mana. So I think that's a good pivot, and then we'll come back in and see what our slots look like. I had 14 rocks here. I don't know if somebody's got a hypergeometric distribution calculator on them, but it would be nice to know exactly how many we need. I know 11 is the number you need if you want to draw 2 of something, or sorry, 1 of something every game in a commander deck.
All right, let's start with 11. Let's pick which 7 we don't like. I don't like the maximum hand size ones.
Okay. Yeah, we don't really need them, right?
Yeah, like I don't think we're at risk of going to maximum hand size until Melek is already out. And once Melek is out, all we care about finding is Ghostly Flicker. And so if everything else goes to the graveyard, who cares?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah,
It doesn't hurt us.
for
And so
sure.
while these are my favorite little jewels ever in Niv Mizzet because I want to get 30 cards in hand.
Yeah,
Melek, there's like we just need two or three specific cards. And so
exactly. I think, and if we have to discard to hand size, our hand is gas anyways, right? Like that's
yeah.
a good problem to have. The times where you want to keep the cards in hand are I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Like we could play Thought Vessel just because it's a fast rock, right? It's untapped. It's 2 mana. That one
Mhm.
feels like somewhat free. Like if we're gonna dive in, because we're gonna have to lean into a couple of tapped ones like Sky Diamond, things like that. And with
I'm
the
gonna
Mhm.
mm, I'm gonna fight you on that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna come to your home and we're
yeah. What do
gonna
we?
fight
What
in
do
the
we?
backyard. Is it Storm,
hmm
right? I don't know about Popper Storm, but we're like one of our potential outs is pinging everybody down with non-deterministic Storm. And
Yep.
when you're doing non-deterministic Is it Storm, especially if we have to do it potentially without Melek out, pips are what
They're
brick you
super
like
important.
every time. And
Yep.
so I would say like maximum hand size isn't important, and even if it slows the deck down, we're already building this deck to be a little bit resilient
Yeah.
against running slower. And if we're already doing that, it's gonna be like the
It's pip
turn where we try
intensive.
to secure the win is gonna revolve way more around
Do we have our
I can get one
colors?
more blue, I can get one more red versus I can get one more colorless.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think the one thing we can keep in mind too is that Ghostly Flicker does actually target artifacts. So if we get problems in our infinite mana turn, we can flicker
Mhm.
them to get our colors. The only reason I'm considering Thought Vessel is just because it's an untapped 2 mana rock. And when we're playing like, I think we may end up at like 15 rocks. I usually will do like some split of them where
Mhm.
half of them are 2 mana rocks and then some number are like
Right.
value 3 mana rocks, like your Bonder's
Mhm.
Ornament, Network Terminal, Lantern of Revealing, maybe Commander Sphere, something like that. And
Yeah.
then a couple at the end that are like Sisay's Ring and Firemind's Vessel, right? And so having that density of twos, the question is, what are our other twos, right? So if we go
Mhm.
MV equals to OTAG ramp um, and see what comes up here, we'll run out of good ones. We've got Firemind's Vessel or Fire Diamond. We could just add that one in.
Mhm.
Uh,
We
we
got Sky
have
Diamond, which
Sky
is the
Diamond.
blue version.
We have like Mind Stone, but that one's colorless. We could do
I would
Ornithopter of
I would
Paradise.
still I would take Mind Stone over Thought Vessel
Yes.
because I think it's way more likely, like obviously we might still get to Thought Vessel, but Mind Stone has the like we're way more likely to be in a situation where we're like, oh,
hmm
we need one card to not die than we need infinite hand size.
Right. So then let's look at this. We have 8 of the sort of like premium 2-drop ramp spells.
Mhm.
Um, and OTAG Mana Rock. OTAG Mana Rock. I didn't know that was a thing. That's awesome. MV equals 2. Let's see what we get there. It's going to be kind of the same list. There's Guardian Idol is another one, which is actually a pretty great card in this format. But Prismatic Lens is our next one. That one filters, which could be relevant. But we're the last one that we have is Ornithopter of Paradise, and because we have sweepers, I don't really want to sweep up our rocks. Oh,
Yeah, that's
Everflowing Chalice. Oh my god, that wasn't in that list because it's not MV2. This card is crazy. But that's one, two, three, four colorless 2 mana rocks. Now these 2 mana rocks are helping us bridge into the big ones, right? Like
yeah.
Firemind's Vessel, and Sisay. Is there no comma or apostrophe? Firemind Vessel. Yep. And then Sisay's Ring. Uh, is there only one? Sisay. Sisay's Ring, and then Urgolem's Eye. And I'm not necessarily certain that we play these, but I'm just throwing them in here so that we're aware. These are the biggest ramp that we have, are these two These 4 mana 2s. We also have Kozilek's Channeler, which taps for 2 colorless while being a 5 mana 4/4. We have there's one other one, Koilos Rock, but that one makes a Power Stone, and Power Stones are, weird.
Yeah, we're not doing nearly enough artifacts for Power Stones to super, or like important artifacts for
Right. So
Power Stone to super pay.
let's get our 3s in here too. Network Terminal is like one of the best of them. This card is pretty close to staple. Like if you are playing 3 mana rocks, the ability to loot. It also wants to be around a lot of rocks, and we have a lot. I was looking at Mana Geode. So, and hear me out on this. This one is just scry
No,
one.
it's another. No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
For the flicker, it's another copy of
Put the win condition on top.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Burning Prophet
Yeah, that's right. And then Hierophant's Chalice. What do you think about this one? This one drains, so we just flicker, and we don't even need our thing. We just flicker it to drain the table.
I think that one should be in. There might be a thing we need to. I think if we're going for what we're doing right now, if we're dropping pingers, we're going for a more polarized game plan, which means we're front loading resiliency. We're front loading all these ways to not die, and then that does mean we need more outs. We need more potential things to assemble the actual kill because we're dropping our pingers, which is how we would otherwise, right? Like in the world where we get flicker,
right?
Our pingers are one of our ways to kill the table with it, and if we have dropped our pinger because we're putting other butts up, we want as many things as possible to deterministically get to, what was it, like Fireball?
Right. I just had a crazy thought, okay? So hear me out on this. It's so easy to win the game once we go infinite, right? Is that kind of the consensus? Like we have all of these things we can build into our deck that just win the game when we go infinite. What if the pingers, I mean, the pingers are cool, but like, if we have cards like Hierophant's Chalice and Pristine Talisman, I mean, Pristine Talisman here, this one gains us infinite life.
Yeah.
If we have that, we have Mana Geode to put our combo card on top, our payout on top. Like, these cards don't die. Like, Artifact, there's no meltdown in this format. Like, a Braid is like sometimes played. Like, these are almost better than these.
Yeah. Arya, also, we're doing flicker combo. You have the flicker target in play, or you have infinite mana, but Hierophant's Chalice doesn't muddle it because it's a flicker target.
Right.
It's a win the game flicker target.
Yeah, so it's an outlet and a ramp spell and an untapped rock. It doesn't make colored mana, right? Which is a problem. We're playing a lot of rocks that don't make colored mana. Which I think, like, now that I'm seeing this sort of thing where we've got the Chalice and, the Pristine Talisman. And the Pristine Talisman, if we play it on like turn 2 or like turn 3, it's going to gain us a lot of life over the course of the game. And these Izzet decks, like they really suffer from not being able to do that, in my experience. So maybe at that point, because we're at 15 rocks, maybe we cut like the Thought Vessel, or
cut the fucking Thought Vessel.
Cut the Thought Vessel. Okay, good.
Get it out.
What do we want instead? Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 2-drop ramp. That's pretty good, which leaves us 6 more, and we have. So we could throw in another 4 rock. I don't know. It doesn't make colored mana, which is a little weird. Bonder's Ornament, maybe?
I think we want Bonder's Ornament.
Yeah, it's a pay 4, tap it, draw a card.
What about Network
Terminal? Oh, wait, hold on. Bonder's Ornament draws our deck when we go infinite. Wait a second. Holy shit. So we need to actually, so this is why, like, I'm interested in this deck, is because these onboard things that don't die become the win condition. And then if it's very easy to win, and it's all we have to do is survive, and we have all these amazing tutors to get our combo, then we just build our win conditions into our deck in ways that are hard to kill, right? Like Bonder's Ornament, you just make infinite mana, flicker it, draw your deck, draw your whole deck.
Yeah, put it in.
Yeah, dude. And then there's Lantern of Revealing. This one does something similar, except it puts all of our lands into play. This one
tap,
actually,
but yeah.
this one
Okay, so what
puts
do we?
all the lands into play, but it also, this one technically will put whatever card we want on top also,
Mhm.
right? Like that's,
Yeah, because it's effectively scry. If it's
right.
non-land scry.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I think
We're cooking. We're
I mean, I
cooking.
think the microwave is on.
Oh man, yeah, it's
Um,
spicy. Oh my God. Yeah, this is wild.
so I think we're killing gutter snipe
Yeah,
so that Saunders ornament may live.
I mean it's amazing, right? But so what, so doesn't that mean that we could go like kind of insano on ramp? Then all we want is stuff that goes into play, gives us ETB value and helps us not die, right? Like big
Yeah.
stuff like the Academy wall. So what are some other cards like that we could play too? Um like
Okay, so I think we move gutter snipe out. I think we move thermo alchemist out. Like I think we just drop all
yeah, are
these.
these pingers just like
We
not where we
drop
want to be?
catapult.
So if that's the case
If
and we
we
don't have
if we
tandem,
truly if we truly want to do if we
dude.
truly want to commit to like we are comboing because the thing is the pingers are very strong in terms of letting us win the game in a world where Melek never resolves.
Yeah,
What we're committing to is highly effective, but in a world where Melek doesn't resolve, this is now complete. It is a completely dead game plan
right.
because as soon as we can't double the flicker, then we no longer have infinite,
Yeah.
and then all of this is now it's just us sitting in the corner farting very loudly.
Yes.
So the it's really go like we're entering the territory of go big or go home.
Yeah.
And it's not like cEDH where the go big is happening on turn 2, but it is
Uh-huh.
like we and I don't Arya, I'm gonna say I don't think it's possible for this deck to flood in terms of how much
Right.
mana you actually
Like we
need
haven't even put the
because
draw spells in yet, and these are potent. Um,
yeah, so fuck it, drop the pingers, get them
yeah.
out.
All right, let's do
We
this.
don't need them.
One of the things that we do on this stream every time is we slaughter our sacred cows, right? And these pingers are
Yeah,
considered very meta right now. They're not really blockers. They don't die to our sweepers, but we might not need them, right? Like we just have like how many of these rocks do the thing? Bonder's Ornament draws our deck. Hierophant's Chalice kills the table. Lantern Revealing puts every land into play and puts the top card of the card that we need on top of our library, right? It's just like uh like you say you like
and mana geode.
and it's a 3 mana on tap rock, and then Mana Geode does the same thing, right? Even Network Terminal does the same thing, right? Like we can loot through our
And we
entire deck.
even have Pristine Talisman, not that cool. Infinite life,
Very
which sort of
cool.
gives us that then gives us infinite time. Like even if we don't have the draw out, we're just like, oh, I make infinite life, and
Yeah.
then if the other combo player isn't online, you can just wait however many turns you need to get.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no
let's
pingers.
cut these pingers. Let's
No
do it.
pingers. We
Let's do
don't
it.
need
Get
'em.
them gone. Get them absolutely gone.
They're
All right.
bad.
So
You heard it
Tandem
here first.
Lookout gone. Okay, so let's introduce everybody to a new section of the deck real quick here because I think we're on a roll here. We've got a lot of ramp. This is good. That's complete. These are cards that are actually really interesting in this deck. Bloodwater Entity, Meldweb Curator, and Halo Charge Scab are all Archaeomancers that put the cards on top of our library. Okay, and all of these cards also survive all of our sweepers. If you note, they're all kind of chonky. This one here has prowess, so if we do a 2 damage sweeper, it becomes a 3/3, and it's a flyer, which is quite nice if we need to block. These cards are going to be like a second copy of Mystic Sanctuary, right? Because what they are is if we flicker them with Ghostly Flicker and we put it on top, then we do the combo, right? We make infinite mana, right? By flickering our land. Well, let's see, actually, no, it doesn't work, does it? No, hold on, it doesn't, because we need to flicker 2 lands to make infinite. We would have to have High Tide. If we had High Tide plus any of these, and the Ghostly Flicker does go infinite as well.
I don't think we do. I don't think we commit to a secondary combo. We're going to be spreading way too thin.
Is High Tide already just good in this deck, though? Like, I wonder if that, like, because I see what you're saying. Like, it's like these are more Like these do help us combo. If Mystic Sanctuary is in the graveyard, then we take this, we put Mystic Sanctuary back on top, we combo, right? This allows us to go again.
I don't think High Tide pays off enough. Like, I don't think we have enough blue.
Does it give us enough blue that we can cast Melek and then hold up protection? It might do that.
Yeah, that might be.
Yeah. I think High Tide is worth playing. I don't think the other rituals are though. I don't know. So if the rituals are on top with Melek, they're sick, right? But like,
But if they're not, it's you're playing a ritual to get Melek out ahead of curve, then let him die, and then you're super behind.
right, which we're never gonna do. Like High Tide is more about like maybe we have like I like the idea of playing this when we have like say like 5 lands and so say it's turn 5 and we have 2 rocks and 5 lands. So then we go High Tide, cast our Melek, and then we get to hold up 4 mana. That's actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting. I like the High Tide here, and we're going to be a lot of blue in this deck. Were there any rocks that we missed here? Are there any rocks that like do something on ETB? So like O tag. Just want to just get this real quick. Mana rock, O enter. So just like any enter the battlefield effect.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be? Oh my God! Inherited envelope, infinite temptation. It's pretty bad. We're not doing that. Oh, meteorite. Meteorite.
Fuck yeah! That's my favorite.
Look at this.
Rock. That's my favorite white boy.
This is
meteorite.
5 mana, taps to make a mana of any color.
Favorite. That is my favorite
God.
BM mana rock in Magic the Gathering. I play that Junkin Brawl all the time, and I just kill a mana dork behind curve.
Is this too terrible, or is this just still like? I mean, this is kind of what we want to do, right? Like the vibe that we're going for is flicker our mana rocks.
It's gonna give Araya a heart attack, so we have to put it in just for that.
Just for that,
to make him angry.
Oh my God! Do not run meteorite.
Not run meteorite. We're gonna.
But, man, we're getting lost in the sauce.
First, meteorite is better than thermo alchemist.
The meteorite meta. Yeah, we're here. We've landed. Chat. Hey, meteorite is disrespectful, Alex says. I'll eat your cards. You know what? No, any engagement is good engagement. So y'all keep mauling off correct. and you're doing the Lord's work.
This is exactly what we want.
Good. And low key, when I first saw this deck, I really wanted to have 20 mana rocks. I don't know about you guys. I want to see like 3 mana rocks in my opening hand, right? Can we do that? Like, can we do that? Like, I want that.
And so
I need that.
I think now we need to pick the like best card advantage we can get. And I think we can afford to. So now we've given up on the idea of non-deterministic storm as a win con for the most part, unless it's non-deterministic, unless it's not really storm and it's just us desperately digging for the deterministic,
or like a rolling thunder or a fireball, right? These are like the way, like, but these cards are also like they help us not die,
right? But that's not rolling thunder and fireball only matter in a world where we have infinite mana.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about I think if we're going this hard if we're going this hard on mana rocks, we can be greedier with our card advantage spells because we are probably going to be working with at least a little bit of ramp. And so we don't need to be like, oh, what's a very efficient, like 1 blue, draw a card thing, like Serum. And the awkward thing is that kind of makes then
the copying.
Cutting Serpentine Curve as well, because we're moving away from having a deck that is instant and sorcery dense enough to make Serpentine Curve be good early, right? We're at 70 in the main. We're at 70 in the main deck with 0 instant and sorceries. That means every other.
We got to start filling up. We got to start adding stuff, right?
I think. Let's see.
So like Frantic Search, Brainstorm, Ponder, Portent. Brainstorm looks a little bit weird though if we if we
Yeah, but Brainstorm's just too good.
we don't. I mean,
Like,
how many shuffles do we need to make it good? Is a big question I've had around Brainstorm.
oh,
And we don't have a lot of them, right? Like we don't have the fetches the same way that we do in EDH. So like
mhm,
Brainstorm, when it's only seeing 3 cards deep and then we like can't get past them, feels
yeah.
really bad. But like, but you know what Brainstorm does is it puts cards on top of our library.
Hmm.
So that's actually that's why we need to run that. Yeah. Okay. Um, and then we've got like Impulse would be pretty good here. Izzet Charm, very modal, nice is like hard to double up. Moment of Truth, Telling Time. Um, we've got
Yeah,
basically,
I don't think we're being greedy enough. Because
yeah.
right after Brainstorm, we're still in the realm of like all these 1 and 2 mana.
Do you
Look at
want
a
bigger
couple cards.
stuff? Do you want big draw?
I think we want to be looking at like 3 to 4, like 3, 4, 5 mana.
Let me
Like
introduce you to my
the
good
first
friend.
card, the first cards I looked at was like Unexpected Windfall and Big
Oh,
Score, because
okay.
those are the cards I'm thinking of for like how we want our card draw to work, because we're fine with filling our
Oh, yeah,
graveyard because
yeah.
we have returners, and we want even more ramp,
Yeah, I
and we
like
want
this.
even more cards. And if we're running 20 mana rocks, like the chance that we're going to be locked into playing on curve with 36 lands, with literally half of our deck being mana, the chance that we are going to be locked into playing stuff on curve, really low.
Yeah, yeah,
And so
yeah.
I think we want to start trying to play like 3
What
mana,
about
do
this?
something.
Secrets of the Golden City is a classic, like big blue strategy card where you have a lot of permanents in play because you're ramping, and it's a 3 mana draw 3. This is like pretty fabulous for a deck like this, right?
Yeah.
And then there's also the question is going to be like, do we want to prioritize like instant speed? Because if we do, we've got Behold the Multiverse is an option where it's a 2 mana scry, or
Oh,
sorry,
I
yeah,
love Behold the
love this
Multiverse.
card. Yeah, there's a bunch of we've got like meeting. What about Meeting of Minds? What do you think about this one in this deck where we don't have a lot of creatures? Because this one's a 4 mana
Okay, I knew it
Convoke,
was.
draw 2. If we don't have a lot of creatures, or if our well, actually our creatures are just going to be blockers. So
Yeah,
so that might
I
work.
like this. Instant speed makes it doable.
Yep.
Like, I really think when we go to playtesting, the amount of mana that we have is going to be so great that 4 mana instant speed draw 2 is normally like the
Yeah.
most feels bad shit ever.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to feel okay with all of our rocks, and I think it's going to feel even more okay
Yes.
with all of our
Because we're
creatures.
gonna have lots of blockers, right? Like we're this
Yeah.
89 cards right here does not reflect that we haven't like we're gonna cut a little bit down on this maybe. We'll make some changes here, but we have other cards like Quick Study, and I kind of want to prioritize draw that's instant speed so that we can do stuff at end step while we are
Yeah.
like defend ourselves, right? Um,
Mhm.
so there's other like type instant O draw O3. I want to see what we've got for that. We've got like Draconic Lore. We've got the Reign of Revelation. Do we want Mental Journey? This card is fucking awesome. These cards here I've been really big fan of. The basic land cycling cards that are like overpriced effects.
Mhm.
Because this ensures that we hit our land drops early on, but later on, it's also just like a 6 mana draw 3 at instant speed, which is a lot of mana, but we're also like a huge mana deck, right?
Yeah.
So,
Terrible rate, but we have enough things going
yeah.
on that we might be able to
And
make the rate work
at
out.
common, like we do pay, 4 mana for, like these are expensive effects, but that's like
Yeah.
that is what we do here. Reign of Revelation, do you like this one? Draw 3, discard 1 for 4 mana at instant speed. It's pretty good.
Yes.
It's pretty deep.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, what about okay, there's actually a couple of draw 2 cards that dig incredibly deep that actually a lot of people have told me they really like, which are not instants, but there's Foresee, which is
Mhm.
this is crazy. Scry 4, draw 2 for 4 mana. So it's like a dig through time kind of.
I think we take that,
Yeah?
honestly.
Okay. There's 2 of these. There's
I think we
Tameo's.
read the absolute fuck out.
Yeah, we're
Uh
gonna draw insane number of cards here. Tameo's Epiphany is the same card. They're sorceries, so There is something to be said about that. What about draw 2 at instant speed? We need the Arcane Denial, of course. Arcane Denial is disgusting in this deck too. If you have it on top, you like cast a rock and then you cast Arcane Denial, targeting the rock twice and draw 6 cards.
Mm-hmm.
Like target your own spell.
Yeah.
Electric. Oh, let's see. No, we don't want that. There's icing cards like the Fire Ice, which could also do that. Hieroglyphic Illumination, big fan of this card. Just 4 mana, draw 2, but we can also 1 mana, draw 1 when we just need to, when we need velocity, right? So early on, we need to hit a land, we cycle it away.
Okay.
Like that one quite a bit. Nat Lambs, this one I usually don't play, but I wonder if this is what we want. It doesn't draw the cards right away, but it's 2 mana instant speed. It's like it's kind of like a loot.
I think
it's actually card neutral, right? So I don't know if we want that.
Yeah.
That's the next end step too.
I think it's not greedy enough. I think we are gonna have a lot of money to spend, and we want to spend it on more foul shit because we also still
like this is low ball. Like this is
still need.
What's that meme? What is it from Inception where it says you mustn't be afraid to dream a little bit bigger, my darling.
Yeah, dream just a little
bit bigger. Soul Read is bigger.
Wall Street shit.
Right here, 4 mana.
That's good.
Right?
That's good.
Amazing.
Popper is holding up 4 mana.
Oh, dude. Yeah, and we can double this up to draw 4. But it's also just like a counter spell in a big mana deck. I like that one a lot. There's another one like that called You Find the Villain's Lair. This one right here, 3 mana, counter target spell or loot.
I love Find the Villain's Lair.
Dude,
yeah, put that.
Play that shit in there.
We're building one of my brawl decks.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. All right, so we've got Mental Journey. We're actually going to put this under lands as well, because this one actually does sort of count towards our land count. Like it's a card that we can reliably land cycle. Like we're never going to keep a hand with only 1 land unless it has Lorien revealed. So it will be a land. It is also draw. We have Hieroglyphic Illumination's great. Soul Read is great. Soul Read is also going to go under our protection here. Reign of Revelation seems great. Find the Villain's Lair is great. You Find the Villain's Lair is also a counterspell. And then Unwind is being recommended. I think Unwind seems great here. Especially if Unwind is used to like counter somebody's spell during like while it's on top. Like during that's like really sick actually. Cruel Witness and Burning Prophet. Do we need these cards anymore? I guess this is actually pretty good because they're non-creature, so it works with our rocks.
Yeah, Cruel Witness and Burning Prophet, we have so many. I think they stay in. I'm just trying to find them because I just turned tags on, and now, so now I'm in a whole different
you're
world.
A whole new world, my friend.
Yeah. Yes, because we do still need the card selection, and because if they didn't work with rocks, I would say no. Because they work with rocks, we have like 50 cards in the deck that give us card selection, or that give us card selection with them, and that's good enough. Like the rule of thumb that I'm kind of working on right now that I've yet to prove mathematically at all is if you have a synergy that you want to run that exists outside the command zone, at least 30 cards in the deck have to work with the synergy for it to be viable. And so each of these is a non-command zone synergy, and each of them has 50 cards in the deck that work with them.
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean, Burning Prophet...
That's more than good enough.
I think it's actually more than that. I think these cards are going to be approaching like 65 synergistic cards.
Yeah, so these are 2 cards where anytime they hit the field, they're doing what we put them in. They're like their effect is triggering multiple times guaranteed.
Whoa.
And as soon as it's
I just like processed how good these are.
Yeah, unless somebody puts a bullet in the 2 of them, which at that point is worth it, right? It's worth them catching a bullet so that our other, so that Melek doesn't.
So like think about what these do here. If we have these out, we have Melek in play, and it's a land on top. We just like cast another rock, and we surveil it away, and we get to like take another chance at copying a card, right? Like these
Mm.
are really, really good here. And it doesn't matter how much they cost because mana cost doesn't matter in this deck. So
Yeah,
then
change their tag to goat.
goat. Okay, got it. Yep, here, goat like this. And then yeah, yeah,
Just refresh. I already.
yeah, yep. Okay, goats. You said goats.
Yeah, because we hit these, and then the game kind of begins to solve itself really quickly
Yeah,
as soon
totally.
as one of these is on the field, because every turn we're playing probably one non-creature or more.
Yeah, exactly. So we have all this instant speed draw, and there's a part of me that thinks, and maybe chat, you can tell us what you think. Like Tamio's Epiphany and the other one is 4C. These ones are sorceries, and the most of these here are instants, and I really like that they're instants. You know,
Yeah, instant speed draw goes super hard. I've built decks that are like, oh, I'm gonna have 35 draw cards, and then I look and it's like 33
yeah,
instants.
that's crazy.
It like instant speed is just you can't beat being able to do it on the end step before your turn.
Right. So here's a question: do we have anything that works with wizards that we would want to be like considering for the deck too? Um,
I don't think anymore, because there was the one
Ste-
combo you talked about with we talked about previously
right.
with wizard cycling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We don't really
But
have much. I mean, we do have. Okay, so this one's kind of interesting. I mean, this reduces the cost of wizard spells, so it's just like a mana rock, but I don't think that's good because we will be sweeping the board. Um,
yeah.
there's Stream of Unconsciousness, which is if you control a wizard, draw a card, and give a creature -4/-0. It is tutorable. If we draw it off the top, if we have it on the top, it's actually a 1 mana draw 2, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
That's not awful. I'm gonna throw this in sideboard just for now, just in the like, not dying pile. There's not oh, here's another one. Yeah, Chilling Trap. This is the duplicate of this card. Talarian Winds. Oh my God, yeah. I know somebody mentioned that earlier. Talarian Winds is a 2 mana, discard your hand, and draw that many cards.
Ooh.
This is a wheel. That's
I
just
think we
for
like
us.
that.
It's a wheel just for us.
Yeah, I think we like that.
Like, what if we
very
have like an opening hand that has lands in it, right? And we have Talarian Winds,
Right.
but we don't have rocks. This becomes a mulligan, kind of.
but free mulligan.
Yeah, I like it.
I think we put that in, and then we just play a 110 card deck.
Yeah, I mean that's what we want to be doing here. Captain Orion says Flux is a sorcery. Build a wheel cantrip. Flux is an interesting card. I wonder how it works in this deck. This is one that, yeah. So every player Oh God, it's every player.
No,
No, I'm sorry.
no. We can't.
No.
We can't give. You can't give other people card advantage. This is why Nekuzar isn't any fucking good in cPDH.
This card says
Like,
every player in play takes every bad card they have and turns them into other cards. We don't have any way to punish this, basically.
As the Niv Mizzet player, anytime somebody wheels, it's like wheeling is one of those things where you hate it so much when you're a new Magic the Gathering player, and then the better you get, the more
You're
you
like,
love
oh,
being
God.
wheeled, and
Yeah.
the more you hate having to wheel anybody else, because like every deck that knows what it's doing has a way to care about its graveyard.
Yep.
And so if you are wheeling somebody, it's not draw 7, but you're giving them access to 7 new cards, and you're giving them partial access to however many they had to ditch.
Yeah.
So no, we will not be wheeling these motherfuckers. As a certified card toucher, we will not be wheeling. There will be no wheeling. There will be no dealing. There will be no feeling. There will be none of it. There will only be us drawing cards and you sitting there like a dickhead while we play Magic the Gathering. So
yes, this is what we need. This is what the people demand too.
Yeah, no flux.
yeah. That one won't work. So we are. So we're gonna have to cut from draw. which is okay because I think we've just got like a good spread here. We can kind of decide like how many of these cheap, dirtily card selection spells do we want.
Mhm.
Like I'm not even convinced that we like big blue. Oftentimes you find slots in your deck by not playing some of the most staple draw spells ever printed, right? Like Ponder, Preordain, Serum Visions, Brainstorm. Like these cards,
Mhm.
um, they maybe we just don't play those and we just play big stuff. I don't know.
We get really wacky. I mean,
And we don't have removal here either.
I I think given that we do have creatures that are going to be bringing instants and sorceries back, we would much rather only be playing big hitters
Yeah.
if we had to make the
Then like
choice.
this small ball shit, like
Yeah,
Serum
like
Visions.
'cause
Like, come on, what are we doing here?
yeah, because Serum Visions, Ponder, and to an extent, Preordain is there to fuel
It's to find
the
this shit.
big is it dig turn.
Yeah.
We're fueling our big is it dig turns by by untapping with 10, like we're being Simic players almost.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
fueling it by untapping with 10 mana
We're
on
Simic
turn
players with
5 and
a
6.
veil over our face.
Yeah.
We're pretending to not be Simic here, but here we are with like 20 ramp spells and 24 draw
We're
spells.
we're Simic
Like,
players. We're Simic players with an Adderall script.
uh
That's all that's
huh.
happening here.
Yeah.
It's we so yeah, I think we can
Oh,
I think Brainstorm stays because Brainstorm is one of the best cards ever printed. But other
yeah.
than Brainstorm, I think we
I mean, Brainstorm is kind of gross with Melek too. If you have Brainstorm on top, you cast
right.
Brainstorm, it copies, you resolve the first copy, put another card on top, copy cast it, and then after that's done resolving, you put the second Brainstorm on top and you copy cast it again.
Okay, so
That's
in that
busted.
in that sense, I'm gonna say like I think Preordain goes. I
Like
think
these
Serum
three might be the only ones that stay. Maybe. I mean,
I think
they actually they all do the brainstorm thing, right? They all stack our deck with great cards.
well
Impulse does not actually,
the
interestingly enough.
yeah, I mean the thing is Preordain only gives us the chance to stack
Oh, right. It
one.
might stack.
Yeah,
Like if
like
we see two cards we
Ponder
like.
and Brainstorm. Yeah, like Brainstorm's the best because it lets us put anything from our hand. Ponder lets us put anything from the top three, but it also potentially lets us line up like two in a
Mm-hmm.
row.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whereas Preordain is you're looking at two and one of them's going away, so you have to hope that
Yep.
in the top two there's one you want on top. Whereas Ponder is
Well,
hoping that one of the top three is something you want, and even if it
yeah.
isn't, you can shuffle and pray. So I
Well,
think Ponder beats out
Portent
Preordain.
actually, Portent is the same thing as Ponder in this deck because we stack our we don't draw the card right away, but that's okay, right? Because
Hmm.
we really just want that card on top so that we could double it up.
Yeah.
So it's a second copy of Ponder. It'll give us two cards, if we copy it in the next turn, which is actually kind of interesting. Cards that draw us cards next turn get us around discarding to hand size, which is kind of cool. Victoria says, what about Telling Time? Yep, we got Telling Time, Moment of Truth. These ones are really interesting ways to stack our deck. One of them fills the graveyard, one of them doesn't. Um, yeah, these cards, like when we double up these, do really weird shit, right? Like, yeah, super weird shit. I added in our sweepers, by the way. Chat, one thing that we'll be doing too is the Murmuring Mystic plan. Um, Murmuring Mystic being like a second copy of our commander is also an infinite mana win condition, right? We make infinite mana. If we don't have one of the artifact rocks, if we don't have some other way to win, we make infinite birds. And in the meantime, we're basically like making all these birds to block with, right? Um,
Hmm.
and now with that one, maybe we just don't play Vidalcan Aether Mage and we only play Step Through because the Vidalcan Aether Mage is like donkey shit. It's like super super bad.
Yeah, Arya, how do you feel about Vidalcan Aether Mage? It looks pretty strong here. Like I think it's flash, it's instant speed, and I don't think we can discount that.
It's a
But
blocker.
I do It's a fucking blocker.
It's a
We
Impact
yeah.
Tremors. Oh boy. Yeah, Impact
No.
Tremors. That's back on the pinger thing. However, the problem with Impact Tremors in this deck is that like what we're getting when we play Mana Geode and Lantern Revealing and Bonder's Ornament and Network Terminal is we're getting a rock that then we can go infinite with. Impact Tremors is purely an infinite card. It only works to help us to pay off our infinite. But what we're saying is let's build in the cards to our mana base that help us go infinite, right? And I think we're doing pretty good. Meteorite, this is a fun one. I hope this one makes the cut. But, we'll see.
Meteorite's
We'll see.
Pog champion.
It's
We're
Pog.
keeping that card. We are keeping Meteorite.
Chat,
You will never take it from
we
me.
we can't make the man unhappy. Okay, I would never want to hurt you.
You are never taking Meteorite from me.
Let's talk blockers. So Talarian Terror came to mind. Sometimes this is going to be in our opening hand, and we won't have our graveyard filled, but we'll have a lot of rocks, and we'll just hard cast it, right? Other times we'll draw it off the top, and it'll be 1 mana, and it's like a 1 mana 5/5 that is hard to kill. It's just a good blocker, right? I was thinking about Cryptic Serpent as being another one too. Cryptic Serpent is a 2 mana 6/5, same card, but no ward.
I mean, how good are targeted destroy target creature?
Oh, they're very good. Yeah, the answers are
like how
really
prevalent.
I mean,
how prevalent?
Depends on who you ask. If you're playing against me, if I'm playing black, I'm rolling deep with like if you're playing against me, I'm rolling deep with like 15 black kill spells. That's what it looks like. But these do dodge red removal. So
I was also gonna say we want it to force somebody to fire the bullet meant for Melek. Like these are things with power toughness high enough where we can just like flop it out on the board, and a 6/5 is good enough that people don't want to ignore it. And if they try to ignore it, we can pressure them. And as soon as they use a good answer to get rid of it, the way is paved for Melek. And even though their raw CMC is more than Melek, we're going to be filling our yard pretty quickly here.
Yeah, I think so.
We're almost certainly running either of these two out before Melek, provided that we draw them.
Yep.
And they are there to catch the heat
that
would otherwise be meant for.
They're helping us stabilize basically. And I think that there's value in that. I want to look at other creatures. We need a few more creatures here that are just going to do something for us and block. So we could do like Seagate Oracle. And Seagate Oracle is another one of these like cards that secretly is a combo card. Because if we go infinite, we draw our whole deck. But it's also just like a 3 mana 1/3 that draws us a card. So like when we run this out, we like find a card, we like keep moving. It's like digging us through our deck. But it's also just going to be like a speed bump that then in some cases will just win us the game. Right?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Like other
we like that. We love to see top 2.
Ooh, okay. So if you my friend, get what you want, does Daddy here get what he wants with his Pondering Mage?
Why do you want Pondering Mage? Hold on.
So Pondering Mage. Chunky body. Look at this thing. 3/4, baby. This is like Mike Tyson in this format.
I'm going to tell you right now, Pondering Mage, infinitely better than the card you just put in.
Right? This is Ponder.
The problem that I have with Seagate Oracle is there's no stacking the top of our deck, which we really want for our outlet. We can draw our deck, which is really good, but drawing our deck is so if we were maybe we can take both, but if we're gonna take one,
oh my god,
we take the dude with the fatty that's gonna let us Melek stack 2 instead of the dude with the moderately sized dumpy who is
we
going
need
to
max dumpy.
Right. We don't want to put our win conditions into our hand. We want to put our win conditions as that first card on top. And Seagate Oracle is going to force us to either put it to hand or put it on top. Whereas like
Yeah.
all the other shit we're talking about, right? Like Bonder's Ornament, we're doing the card draw and we're just going to stop whenever we see the win condition. Or if we're doing network tournaments, again, we stop whenever we see it. Whereas Seagate Oracle, because we have to look two at a time,
Yeah.
and neither can stay on top, we risk not, again, if we have infinite mana, if we've gone infinite, then it's kind of a non-concern, actually.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but I do think that we want to prioritize being able to control the top card of the library over being able to control anything else.
Yeah, I think you're right. Seagate Oracle, like when we're not comboing, but we have Melek, doesn't allow us to stack the top of our library. But I think that where Seagate Oracle gets a lot of advantage is that it's just like very cheap. It comes out, it's going to eat a blocker, it's going to draw a card, right? Like it does its job. Pondering Mage is a little bit different. For 2 more mana, you do the same thing, but it's a 3/4. This thing does tango, right? Like, it's expensive, but look, like we're a spendy deck. Like we spend lots of mana on our cards. What about Lembas? What do you think about this one?
How would you shut up forever if I see another copy of
Another
Lembas
copy of Lembas?
in my life?
He doesn't want to see it.
Again.
Wait, shouldn't we be playing Campfire?
We should. We should be playing. Everybody, hot new tech.
Campfire.
Campfire is the greatest.
The new meta.
Ever
the new meta.
Campfire is the greatest common
in every format. Yep.
In every format.
And look, it's 1 mana, so we can tutor it with Urza's Saga. You can put it right into play. You can cheat this into play with Urza's Saga. Like, I don't know what more... Chat, I don't know what more you want from me. Okay? You can cheat this into play with Urza's Saga, and you can sack it to Beseech the Mirror while gaining life to offset your Thoughtseizes and Ancient Tombs.
So
right?
true. So true.
It's based. And then they go to exile our graveyard, and we say, you know what? I'm going to put that Gaia's Will right back into my deck. Get wrecked, nerd. Yeah.
Orion, for Prophet of the Peak, it's a 6 mana 5.
Oh, it's 6 mana 5.
No, sorry, 6 mana 5/5. It scries 2. And the thing is, for the scrying 2 is like scrying more is great, but the scrying only truly matters. Like the scrying truly pays off when we're going infinite, and at the point that we're going infinite, it doesn't matter how many you scry at a time because we're doing it infinity times until we find what we want. And we want to be putting down these things that we can scry with before we put Melek down. Whereas at 6 mana, Prophet is competing to come out at the same time Melek is during turns where we probably can't afford to wait any longer.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to put Cruel Witness and this under draw as well, because it's kind of what they're doing. It's like card selection. So Lembas here, I think. So the thought that I had with Lembas is that if we go infinite, then we draw our deck.
Lembas is another
infinite. Which actually.
Now I think the one drawback it has is that it does kind of the same thing that the Seagate Oracle does, where it doesn't let us, or well, if Melek is out, it does. Never mind.
It does help us. Like, well, no, it scries 1 and then it draws that card, so it gets us another look, right? One of the things this does too, though, is when you sacrifice it, it goes back on top of your library. So one thing that this card can do is prevent you from decking. Oh wait, no, it can't, because it scries 1 and then draws a card. So you can't. No, that doesn't work that way, because you can't.
Yeah, but with Melek out, after we draw the card.
Yeah, we have lots of ways to not deck. These cards help us not deck. Right? Like these are all not decking cards. Okay, I don't think we need Lembas. This doesn't copy. It does gain life, and that was one of the reasons why I kind of liked it.
We have two infinite life cards already.
We do. We have Pristine Talisman.
Izzet, we have 2 ways to gain infinite life, which is heretofore unheard of behavior.
Izzet gaining infinite life sounds very Simic, doesn't it? It feels like we're really just a Simic deck, aren't we?
That's so gross of you.
We need.
Yeah, get Lembas out of there. We don't care about short people. We don't care about the particularly hairy. We don't care about the big-footed.
Nope.
We don't we don't care about anybody that likes potatoes.
Nope. None of it.
Get all of them out.
What about our removal? We need removal now.
No,
Um,
we don't.
no, who needs? Yeah,
No, we fucking
you don't
don't.
need those. Have you
We
added
have
campfire? I hear I hear the card's super strong in Pauper. Just get help, okay? Just
get it. I mean, I will say more than any other color combination, Izzet is where I am the most never punished for not bringing enough removal.
okay. The most never punished. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh huh.
some might call it the least, but never punished is such an important phrase that it's
Yeah.
just most never
It's
punished.
pretty critical that it be said in that exact way, right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
you're getting me.
Yeah, I feel you, my brother here. So I added a bunch of removal cards that are just good. I put the shiny and the psychic impetus in here. Oh, look at that shiny! What's that? Another ramp? Okay, cool. I like it. Another draw spell. Sick. Um, Snap, runaway together. Check this shit out, dude. This is gasoline. Put 4 creatures back into their owner's hands for 2 mana.
Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah, dude.
Wait.
You
I'm turning tags off because I keep
can't
looking in the
handle it.
wrong section. I can't. And the thing is, I always build my deck with like weird alternate tags,
Oh
so
yeah,
I don't know.
I'm
I
all
don't know
about the
why my
tags.
brain can't keep up.
All about the
Okay.
tags. So yeah, we've got Snap, obviously busted, Runaway Together, Echoing Truth, Boomerang, Scred, Lightning Bolt, Galvanic Blast, both impetuses, and then Step Through. And then now I had in here Fire, Ice, and Dead Gone. And Arya swears by these cards. Well, particularly Dead Gone. Dead Gone is
Yeah,
1 mana,
bounce is so good
but we're in
in a
blue.
form.
So I wonder, like is that premium if we're in blue? Because we have good blue bounce spells like Into the
We have like
Royal,
yeah,
right? Which actually Into the Royal and Blink of an Eye both draw a card. I bet there's some sort of combo with these cards,
that has to be
right?
solid combo.
Wait, hold on,
Always.
dude. If we have High Tide on top of our deck,
Mhm.
that actually opens up a lot of combo lines. Um,
Elaborate, because
yeah,
my brain is putting on a good day.
it's putting on a good. If we have High Tide on top and we copy it,
Hmm.
then all of our lands tap for all of our islands tap for 3.
Yeah.
So with Snap, okay, yeah. Snap, Halo Charge Scab, Meldwood Curator. Wait, mills 2 cards. Does that work? No, yeah, it does. So with any of
Yeah.
these 3 and Snap with a High Tide on top, we make infinite mana
Okay.
because the Snap untaps 2 lands and we only paid 2 for it, and they're making 3 mana each.
Got it. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Are there any other untap cards that we need to be playing here too? Like anything
Ooh.
that untaps that isn't a treason effect?
Freed from the real.
Oh, does that only goes on creatures?
No, I'm talking mad shit right now. Yeah. No, I don't
Right.
think freed from the real. I think the one.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We've lost him. We've lost him. Chat, bring him back. Bring him back, chat. Cloud of Fairies could be part of that too. I'm not sure though. We'll add that one in. I don't think there's a whole lot of other. Yeah, Capsize, right? Capsize. Yeah, Capsize is good. We definitely want that. He may have lost connection briefly, but that's okay. We're good. We'll keep rolling here. So Capsize being good removal here. I think Into the Royal and Blink of an Eye. I'm wondering where the combo is here. If we have High Tide, and we like, how do we break this? If we go High Tide on top, cast it. Now our lands tap for 3, and we cast Into the Royal, bouncing our Meldwood Curator, and then replaying it, putting High Tide back on top.
All right, how about now?
Yeah, we're back. We're back. There we
All
go.
right, that's my fault. I looked up Pemin's Aura, which is an uncommon, and
Did
Mark Rosewater came in and unplugged my fucking.
yeah, fair enough. That checks out. So one of the things I was just thinking about with High Tide, there's a lot of things we can do with High Tide.
Mhm.
High Tide, if we go High Tide on top and we have one of these
Yeah.
Archaeomancers and we have a bounce spell like Into the Royal and Blink of an Eye, we draw our deck, I'm pretty sure. Because these draw a card and we can with the
Yeah.
Meld Web Curator in particular, then we can
Mhm.
bounce the Meld Web Curator, draw a card, put it back on top, but we don't have a way to untap then. We need a way to untap. So it's really Snap. Snap with High Tide and the
Mhm.
Meld Web Curator or the Bloodwater Entity or the Halo Charge Scab. The only thing is the Halo Charge Scab, it mills. So if we have the least number of cards in our graveyard, then we just mill ourselves out if we try to go infinite.
Right.
So I don't know. Blink of an Eye and Into the Royal, they do draw 2 cards though if we kick them off the top, right?
I think that
Yeah,
yes.
they do. Right. You may pay an additional to cast the spell. If it was kicked, draw a card. Is the copy kicked? Probably.
Yeah,
I think it is, just in the same way
I
that
think
Rolling Thunder and
all
Fireball, right?
right. Any additional costs you pay into a spell should get, or like all modes and stuff like
Right.
that, get copied when you do it.
Okay. I bet there's more combos in here. The combo is not my specialty, so I'm definitely like reaching here a little bit. But I know
Uh-huh.
that Snap and Into the Royal, traditionally, like Into the Royal has had combos with it, where you can draw your deck with Into the Royal, and I'm not remembering exactly which of those it is. But yeah, those are all good. I like those. We're at 13 cards over, and we're starting to see like a cohesive deck here. We don't have enough protection and counter spells though, so let's get that in here. Dispel, Intervene. I think it's all the 1 mana stuff, right? Like 1 mana hexproof.
Yeah. Yeah, we want 1 mana conditional because the primary use of our counterspell is, oh please God, don't kill Melek. Oh
Yeah,
please God, let us untap to try and win.
we need
And
to
so,
untap and do terrible things to you. Please let us do that.
yeah, yeah.
What do you think about Treason of Isengard too? I was kind of talking about this with Arya. This is an
Mhm.
instant or sorcery version of our Bloodwater entity. So it's a spell that puts things back on top that makes a creature, but it also but it can be put on top to copy it. So like if this is on top,
Right.
then we cast it, duplicate it, target 2 cards, put the first one on top, cast it, copy it, and then once that clears, then the next Treason of Isengard takes another card, puts it back on top that we can cast and copy.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I don't know if that's better than the other ones because it does make a body though. That's the thing I kind of liked about it. This is similar to it's similar to the other
You
ones.
you love anything that puts power and
Oh,
toughness on the board. It's
I
just
do.
put 1 power on the board, and you have sold this man on the validity of a card.
Easy.
I
Sold.
I am trembling at the thought of a mana rock that makes a 1/1 token,
Bro,
because
make
that's gonna
infinite
be your
creatures?
new.
What about a creature that makes a mana rock? You ready for that? We got tons of them.
Oh,
Yeah, we got the what is it this type creature Power Stone is oh no, we need a Power Stone like that. We have the Coilless Rock and the Stone Retrieval Unit, but these things only cast non-artifact spells. Or no, can
mhm.
only can this mana can't be spent to cast non-artifact spells. I hate that text. That's such terrible templating.
Okay. So we also want
Dream
for the
Fracture.
protection.
Okay. Yeah.
I think Dream Fracture is really expensive.
Yeah,
I
3 mana
use that
counter
card.
spell.
I use that card a lot. It's a great counter spell, but in the realm of how we want to be countering things, we're probably not holding up 3 mana on the turn that we cast Melek.
Right.
In a game where we're like really looking for the door.
Yeah. Oh,
So I
here's
would say
another
like
one. Chat recommended cap size, of course.
Always caps.
Yeah.
Always be capsizing. That's the ABCs of Magic.
Yep. Capsize here goes infinite in a lot of ways. If we have the High Tide on top and then one of these Archaeomancers and the Capsize, we can actually double cast the High Tide, use the mana to bounce and replay the Curator to replay the High Tide, and then bounce our... No, that doesn't actually work that way.
So many lines, bro. Can we just punch somebody in the
I know,
mouth?
right? Yeah, this deck is not the mouth breathing nonsense that sometimes we all need.
Fire at 42 instants.
42. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, it's good. Too many counter spells here. What do you think about Izzet Charm over just like another card? This has also got the double loot, which means we can draw draw two, discard two, draw two, discard two, or double nug things. Seems pretty good.
I think Izzet Charm has to stay. There
Yeah.
are very few Izzet decks that truly
Yeah.
don't want to have Izzet Charm.
Okay.
I think Intervene stays, High Tide stays.
Rewind. What do you think about Rewind?
Ooh.
Untap 4
Rewind.
lands.
Rewind is really strong. I
Dude,
think.
this is sick in this deck, isn't it? Because 4 mana, we're just like, what's 4 mana, dude? That's like 4 is the new 2.
Who gives a fuck about 4 mana?
Okay, let's play it.
Good.
What about Deprive?
Good.
This would be returning our Mystic Sanctuary back to our hand. There's no real synergy there because...
Mystic Sanctuary doesn't matter until we're going infinite. And at the point we're going infinite,
yeah, let's take that out.
So I think we drop Deprive.
Counterspell? Just like hard counterspell?
I'm gonna sound crazy when I say this. I'm
Hit
gonna
me.
sound crazy.
Hit me.
I think it's the pip heaviest protection spell we're running, and I think we can get rid of it on that basis. That we want to be opening up as many.
Oh, counterspell. You don't want this one.
Yeah. I think if we're in a really hard place trying to make cuts.
Oh yeah.
It depends on now going down on counterspell means we are giving up on stopping the other combo player.
A little bit.
These are choices. Like if we look at counterspell and the thing right above it, Confound is way better for the game plan of protecting the Melussi.
The Melussi.
Counterspell can both do that and stop somebody else from attempting to resolve the game.
It does, right. So this is flexible.
I mean, really, really Confound is the one that should go, but I'm just such a greedy bitch.
Well, dude, I mean, this card is sick. Like, if we play, like, Melek, and this is on top, and then we get to use it to, like, copy it and, like, draw 2 cards as well, I kind of like it. And, Confound actually stops most of the combos in the format. Confound stops Ghostly Flicker. It stops Tidal Bore. It stops Freed from the Real. And there's actually like most things it stops while protecting our combo or like our creature. So I actually think that like
counterspell.
Yeah, I mean like that's kind of the funny thing is like, does it draw a card? No. Is it 1 mana? No. Yeah, I mean maybe that's not where we want to be. And then the rest of it would be like Muddle maybe stays because we want to tutor up Merchant Scroll for Ghostly Flicker. And then Unwind is good. You find the Villain's Lair, good because it also draws cards. Rewind, just gasoline. Yeah, let's just cut this. Dude, this is like some beta ass counterspell in this deck. Some real beta cuck counterspell,
Fucking
get it out. Get it gone. Yep. And then like removal here. I think we could maybe just do one of these, like the Into the Royal Blink of an Eye. Maybe we just play one of them. I don't know that I'm not even sure that they're premium because the other card that I was looking at was the Volcanic Spite and Fire Prophecy. Like damage spells that, take a card from our hand, put it on the bottom, draw a card. What do you think of these in this deck? Because if we copy them,
I think we need to start operating more from the position that we're probably not going to be able to copy it. And is it includable on the ground?
That's good. That's good. Is it just generically good?
If it's includable on because the only thing that needs to work when Melek is out is shit that draws a lot of cards.
That's it.
Like if we're copying something that's not winning us the game, we want it to look at probably 4 cards minimum.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. I
gonna
think
say
you're right.
that broadly. Anything we're copying, like if we and everything else we don't really care about keeping, because like brainstorm, if we copy, it's look at 6,
Right.
right? It's look at 6, and that is, or well, no, it's look at 4, so that's the minimum, and that's just barely good enough. And
Right.
if it's
Boomerang's
copy
not good enough
volcanic
then, huh?
site,
Yeah, sorry, keep
I
going.
mean, and if it's look at 2, right? Yeah, because it's from hand, and so it's draw 2. When Melek's out, draw 2 stops being good enough.
Right.
And so if 2 mana, potentially swap out 1 dead card. If you
Yeah.
think that's good enough, then we can include it. But if it's not good enough without the copy,
Yeah.
we don't put it.
The idea with these cards that I had was that these are removal spells that constantly move us towards our win condition. That was kind of the thought
Yeah.
from a thematic standpoint. Was like they're getting us progress while keeping us alive, and that seems good.
How do you feel about swapping Galvanic Blast for Volcanic Spike?
Yeah, I mean that's totally a possibility. I actually do
Good.
want to bring in Alex real quick into this here. Alex, are you available to just
Yeah,
like
Alex, what's up, my dog?
are you able to just like jump in? Because so Alex is he's a known combo degenerate. This man plays Tatiova.
Okay,
Okay,
perfect.
so we need a Simic
Oh
player.
no, never
Yeah,
mind.
no, he says no. It
Good
won't
night.
do. So what he says is into the Royal with an Archaeomancer, you can draw your deck with High Tides. That how does that work? Okay, all right. I'm just gonna add you into the call. See, add a person, Alex. Yep, we're gonna get you in here. Okay. Yep, and this might take a moment, chat. All right, Alex, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey. Here, you got your video there, bingo. And then I'm gonna take this audio there, drop down just a little bit. Cool. How you doing, Alex?
Doing good. How are you?
Awesome, wonderful. We've got Malt here.
Yeah, what's up, man? All right.
Yeah.
Let's
So I'm not I know how to kill the combo player, but the combos themselves, this isn't my specialty. So how does that work with Into the Royal and with Blink of an Eye and Archaeomancer and High Tide?
Okay, so with our commander on the field, if we're casting into the Royal, we can copy it to bounce something, and then we can also bounce the Archaeomancer with High Tides. We can bounce like a Paragon Drake or any of that kind of stuff, anything that gives us more mana, and that will let us draw our deck.
We can bounce our rocks?
Yeah, you can bounce rocks, you can bounce if I don't know if we're running Paragon Drake, I can't really see as well.
No, we're not running Paragon Drake. Which I don't know. Maybe is that
No, fuck off with that shit. Fuck off with that Simic. Fuck off with that Simic bull crap. We're not.
I thought we were not doing the Paragon Drake, but now it feels like
we're not running a 5 mana 2/3. It's
not a 5 mana 2/3. It's a free 2/3.
It's a 0 mana 2/3. Oh boy. Oh no. Oh god.
But you could even do it with like the fairy, the one that untaps 2 lands.
Yeah,
but you bounce that plus the Archaeomancer with enough High Tides, you can draw your deck with that.
Oh god. We're just right back to being like the Simic monster. It's evil. It's horrendous. I mean, because here's the thing, like Cloud of Fairies is harder to make infinite in other decks because you have to do a lot of like screwing around to cast your High Tide multiple times. In this deck, if we cast it off the top with a Cloud of Fairies,
that's when we just do it.
We just do it, right? In fact, actually, Cloud of Fairies with double High Tide and Into the Royal, I think that actually, we would need some sort of something else, right? What do we have?
You need an Archaeomancer.
How do we get it back?
Right?
Yeah, you need an Archaeomancer, right? So we have to have one of the Archaeomancers in play, Cloud of Fairies, and then how does that?
I think we're making a lot of we are somehow making a lot of ways to get. Oh no, because Into the Royal will draw us. So I think that's fine.
It draws a card.
We're already 20 over. I think this entire conversation is screaming cut Boomerang.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's our
Yep,
bounce
it's gone.
effect that can't be used to do any of this
Yeah.
crap.
Doesn't combo kill.
I also think we cut Echoing Truth
So
because
let me talk about Echoing Truth for you here real quick.
let me
Okay.
talk about it.
So Echoing Truth is a pretty like pog card in this deck, because, or actually just in any deck right now. This is staple blue because it bounces all TPI tokens from Third Path Iconoclast. It bounces all the Abdel tokens. It bounces all the skeleton tokens. And those three decks, like Third Path
Okay,
Iconoclast, Gut, and Abdel, are kind of like what people believe to be like some of
got
the
it.
better decks.
Okay, so they're meta calls. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
there are
fine.
meta
It, it
calls.
is it
In
is
that case,
definitely needed in a deck that's slower. If you
Yeah.
just from a Tatiova point of view, the scariest deck to me is the one that can counterspell and generates bodies.
So TPI.
EPI and Gut. But that's why I
Yeah.
run
okay.
Echoing Truth, because
So
those ones they need to go.
then I
Mhm.
think I know what our next cut is. It's probably
Is
this
it
one.
Galvanic?
No, it's probably this one instant ghostly flicker. I just don't think it's doing very much for us. Yeah,
We do need
probably
to cut
Galvanic.
cards. We need to cut draw spells, I think is like a good place to start, because actually Into the Royal and Blink of an Eye both draw cards. So we can
Yeah.
actually start cutting from here. What are then
Our
yeah, and actually, Alex, if you could really quick here, my brain is melting a little bit with. So you have to have an Archaeomancer in play to be able to do combos with Into the Royal and Blink of an Eye, right?
Uh, you would need some kind of way to get it back, just because it doesn't target lands is the big problem.
Yeah,
The like
and it's
if
not
you're able to
untapping.
bounce, yeah, if you're able to bounce Mystic Sanctuary with like Ghostly Flicker, you just got the combo already.
So is
We don't.
Blink of an Eye and Into the Royal actually premium in this deck? I mean, it is like a way to draw a card towards our combo while bouncing something out of play. Potentially two things, potentially drawing two cards, right?
To
But
me,
there's no
I think
combo
they're
there.
premium. I think they're
Hmm.
premium because you are able to remove a threat while advancing your game plan, and on the off chance we have infinite mana, it is a infinite draw your deck. So it's removal and combo at the same time.
Right. So if we go infinite with our Ghostly Flicker, but we don't have anything in play that sends us to the moon. So if we don't have like Cruel Witness, and we have a lot of them, like how many cards do we have that do that? We have one, so Hierophant's Chalice, Lantern of Revealing, Mana Geode, Network Terminal. We won't count Pristine Talisman because it's not actually a win. Um, Meteorite, which we'll see. We'll see about that one. Five. Then we've got Burning Prophet, um, Seagate Oracle, Cruel Witness, Pondering Mage. So we have 9 ways, 9 permanents
Mhm.
that will win us the game if they're in play when we do our combo.
Yeah.
So then if we don't have one of those, then Into the Royal and Blink of an Eye will guarantee that we draw our deck, and
Mhm.
then we win. So that seems good, but like the more of these we play, the more we get out of like having good red removal that just kills things. Um, and actually, the same here could be said about Volcanic Spite and Fire Prophecy, right? These also draw our deck.
Yeah, if we can set up a loop. I think we're but making it all come down to a Melek's out, High Tides on top loop is like that is a super shitty redundancy to
Oh,
rely
for
on.
sure, for sure. Like we have to
Like
be very
it's
careful
a
around that.
so I
Like we
would
can't only build around Melek, right?
yeah, and I personally think we already have two potential outs that are based around or it comes back to what I said about if you have a non-commander synergy, you
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
want at least 30 cards in the deck to play into that synergy.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And High Tide works as a just mana is synergistic with everything. But when it
Yeah,
comes to using High Tide as a win condition, we're talking about going from like 5 cards that make it a win condition to 7, which is statistically meaningless.
Yeah,
because it's
right.
statistically very unlikely to happen. So I don't think
Mhm.
we should switch any more stuff out in
Mhm.
service of it. If we could
Yeah,
get to
yeah.
30, if we could get to 30 cards that comboed with High Tide to win us the game on the spot,
Yep.
then we do it. But we
Yeah.
can't get there. And so I think we're like, we're splitting hairs on a
Mhm.
situation that's already kind of like Candyland dream to get
Yeah.
to.
And like quite honestly, there might be like um the funny thing is that because like High Tide is just good in the deck,
Mhm.
then it sort of asks us to go into these other things, right? Like it incentivizes us to start doing these
Yeah.
other things, which includes the Cloud of Fairies, because most decks don't actually get to play Cloud of Fairy combo
Mhm.
because they don't have like easy ways to do the High Tide multiple times. But the fact that
Yeah.
we just have it in the deck makes
Mhm.
Cloud of Fairies good. It's also just like it draws a card too, which is kind of funny. But these cards potentially like this sort of incentivizes other stuff.
I will
Captain,
agree with
mhm.
Orion that Volcanic Spite is better than Bolt because we're going to be rich.
Yeah,
Like
good
I
card.
think the only thing Bolt has we're talking about cutting fucking Lightning Bolt, but the
Yeah,
only thing Bolt has over Volcanic Blast is that it costs one less.
yep.
But
We've
in a
got
deck
tons of
with
mana
20
Yeah,
with
I definitely agree. Cut
big
the
mana is
lightning
it.
bolt and the galvanic blast is better.
and Galvanic Blast. I think can also go.
For Fire
Um,
Prophecy because it
yeah,
is it is a strict, like it's not. Yeah, they are replacements for those direct damage spells that can also high tide us into the game, and that's good enough. The only, well, actually, how important is the 4 toughness breakpoint in this format?
pretty. 4 toughness, I think, is really good. 4 toughness means that you don't die to most sweepers, and the sweepers are breath weapon, fiery cannonade,
Or
sulfurous blast. Those are two. One of them
let
is three.
me frame it a different way. How
Hmm.
important is it for us to be able to kill a 4 toughness creature?
Oh,
Because
got it.
that's what galvanic blast, like that's the
Yeah, yeah,
use case for a galvanic blast. Because we're probably gonna have metalcraft, and if we do, what
yeah.
thing might we need to remove that's gonna have 4 toughness that we can't, like, because most things that have
We'll
4 more
bounce it,
toughness,
and we
right,
just
we're gonna
bounce
be
it, right?
bouncing. So
Yeah,
then
if it's
then
got
get rid of the galvanic blast and put the
yeah,
fire prophecy in.
yeah, and then that even leaves us with like Scred, right? Like maybe we just don't play any removal that isn't like moving us towards our combo, and we can play this
Yeah.
removal that is moving us towards our combo because we have so much mana. So like
Hmm.
if it doesn't move us towards our combo, it has to do something else. Cards like Runaway Together. I bet this has some sort of combo potential in this deck. I mean, it's just like bounce your thing, like bounce all of our opponent's things and bounce our thing back with like a High Tide. And this combo
But
players are
it
going to
doesn't
take this
have.
deck and they're going to figure out how to go infinite. We just need to build the ship so that they can sail it into the west. Okay,
Hmm.
Scred, like right, this isn't doing that. Right, maybe for the
Yeah.
sake of experiment, let's just not do that. And then we know Snap is good because it's a combo card. It's also a ritual when it's on top. Runaway Together hits 4 creatures, but it's also just hitting 2, so it's good value. Izzet Charm, counterspell, kill spell, draw spell. Amazing on top. Into the Royal, bouncing something while drawing a card. All these are doing that. Echoing Truth is the contingency. Capsize is a combo card. And then Impetus and Psychic and Shiny are just great. Like, we just want these anyways. Like, this is
Hmm.
for big stuff.
I would
Yeah.
argue shiny impetus and psychic impetus are significantly better than spreading it, because if you
Yeah.
spread
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just dead. If I shiny impetus, I'm kicking my opponent's butt while also making them
Okay.
spend their
So
removal on it.
let's look at some of our
This looks
worst
good, right? This
instant
is. Can
speed.
we check this off the list? Like, this is done.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So then, what are we looking at next? Draw.
Yeah, we're cutting instant speed draw at this point. We
Okay. So
are
then,
like
do we
that's
cut
really the
the?
only.
I mean,
That's the
so
place where we just have so much shit. I think
meeting like okay,
I
not
think
frantic.
hieroglyphic illumination can go.
Hieroglyphic illumination. Okay. Yeah,
It's
that's
instant
possible.
speed, but it's 4 mana draw
And
2,
it does
which
nothing
is like
else.
the, yeah, because compare it to like Behold the Multiverse, which is 4 mana scry 2 draw 2,
Yep.
and we can pay in installments, which is really
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Um,
And if that's the case, so okay, yeah, let's start with that because we do need to make cuts. We'll move this over into the sideboard for now. I do like that it cycles for 1, but I think that we need to dream bigger. Tolarian Winds. Are we really into this? If we copy it, does it do anything interesting? We discard our hand twice, draw that many cards.
Yeah, but if we copy it, we no longer get to make it. Like, what if we really like the next hand we get to?
Or if it has a Mystic Sanctuary and we have to discard it, that is disastrous.
Yeah, so cut Tolarian Winds because it might we might lose the game off of it.
Yep. We don't want that. We don't want to kill ourselves here. Treasure Cruise, great card. Is this? Are we filling the yard enough? We have. Yes, we do. We have a fuckload of stuff to do with that.
Definitely filling the yard enough.
Yes, we are. We have. Oh, you know what we don't have in here is Thoughtcast. Thoughtcast with our artifacts.
Keep adding cards.
I'm so sorry, but it just it's what it's. Chat would be upset if we didn't include Thoughtcast in here. We also have Telling Time and Moment of Truth. Are these cards silly? They get 1 card, and then they put a card on top that we can duplicate at instant speed for 2. So they're definitely doing a thing that we want.
Here's the thing. Moment of Truth is way more cuttable than Telling Time is, because Telling Time lets us put 1 on top. Moment of Truth doesn't. Moment of Truth gives us the same amount of total card selection, but it's hand, graveyard, bottom.
Oh, I thought this put it on top. Oh,
no,
God,
Telling
get it
Time
out of
is
here.
hand, top, bottom. So Moment
I'm
of
glad
Truth
you noticed
can definitely go, and Telling Time might be. I also think Secrets of the Golden City might be able to go. Even though we're going to ascend, it's because it's sorcery speed.
Yeah, right. The sorcery speed.
We have so many things we're paying similar amounts for to get the same amount of cards that are happening at instant speed.
Good call. The rest of them are instant speed except for Lorien Revealed, but we're just playing that anyways.
Lorien Revealed has to stay, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just too good. Now, we were talking about blockers and stuff. What about Academy Wall? This does not actually send us infinite, right? Because you can only do it once a turn, right? Would we be better off with something that...
only once a turn.
Yeah.
Got it. Fuck that boy.
Okay, here, because there's another one. It's called Wind Rider Wizard. Oh, we want this card anyways, right? Wind Rider Wizard triggers off of wizards entering the battlefield. Yeah, when you cast an instant, sorcery, or wizard spell, you may draw a card and discard a card. It's not as good of a blocker as Academy Wall, and it dies to our sweepers. Hey, what's up, Horizon? Good to see you, bud. So Academy Wall is a better blocker, right? It doesn't die to our sweepers. It only does it once a turn. Wind Rider Wizard becomes an infinite mana outlet, and it blocks flying creatures, but it dies to our sweepers.
I'm going to make an argument. We identified we had like 9 or 10 cards that
I think we're fine, right?
We're close to the number where it's like guaranteed you see 1 a game. And it's
even more now.
We are playing it pretty risky with our creatures, I think. And so I think we actually do want Academy Wall just to have a 5 toughness butt.
Yep. I think now we have Volcanic Spite and the Fire Prophecy and the Into the Royal and the Blink of an Eye. We actually have a lot more wins now.
Yeah.
So, like, hear me out here. Secret Door is better than Academy Wall.
Oh, Secret Door and Trinket Mage. Fuck, dude. We don't have those cards? Oh, God. Okay, so, yeah, Mauld, you're about to learn some nice tech here. This is
Secret Door is like my baby card. I love that thing to death.
The dungeon.
Yep. Secret Door is a infinite mana outlet.
Cut my own Wi-Fi. Oh, that's true.
It's an infinite mana outlet, and it's a 1 mana 0/4 that you can tutor with Trinket Mage. So that means if we have Trinket Mage in play, we make infinite mana, flicker that, get the Secret Door, cast it, and then we win the game. That's amazing. I'm really glad that you recommended that.
Oh, God. I'm just gonna start cutting stuff without telling you and seeing if
without telling you.
I'm just gonna start fucking cutting things.
Oh no,
we don't need this.
Well, okay, so we need to cut. We need to cut Meteorite. I think this is like this is such dog shit. I'm sorry.
Wait.
This card's so fucking bad.
Wait. It's an infinite outlet. It's an infinite outlet. Wait.
He said, but no, but Papa, the infinite, you have to be able to win the game.
Cut the
Okay.
5 mana.
Cut
to
my life
5.
into pieces. This is my
Uh,
last resort.
We can cut the 5 mana, deal 2.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. Do we need okay, other draw spells because we have 28 of them. That's too many. Maybe like do we just cut the bad these 1 mana low baller like Ponder Preordain? I mean, they're Ponder Portent and Brainstorm are very good. Hard Evidence is just a creature, which is another blocker, right? And it makes lots of blockers if we copy it.
Yeah.
I definitely keep Brainstorm because it lets me put stuff on top of my library.
Yeah, and twice if we copy it.
Right.
Is Telling Time?
I think
Like, do we want card advantage or do we want card selection? Because Captain Orion says that Academy Wall does it. You go infinite if you bounce it. Is that true? I don't know if it does.
Here,
Is
let
it-
me
is
pull
it-
it up real quick.
if you make infinite mana and then you play Academy Wall
And you
then
bounce
you
it.
start bouncing it with your infinite mana, you can replay it and it's a new instance of the card, and so it will keep triggering to loot your whole deck.
The question is,
So-
does it track itself as like a...
No,
As
every
like-
time if a card leaves the battlefield and comes back,
Right.
it's a new version of the card. So it doesn't
that's
remember
correct.
it doesn't
That's
remember
correct.
that it's already seen it happen. So
Oh,
it does,
man,
that is
that's-
another outlet. So Academy Wall stays.
Dude, Academy Wall is so good. This actually makes it so much better.
I'm cutting hard evidence. I don't care what you say.
You're cutting Hard Evidence?
I'm cutting hard evidence.
You're such a bastard. How are you doing this to us? What are our bad ones then? Like, do we cut something like You Find the Villain's Lair, which like is like a bad counterspell that draws us cards when we already have 13 counterspells? Or
I like
13...
You Find a Villain's Lair better than I like that one on the bottom. What was it?
Soul Read? Really?
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of it.
Wow. I mean,
That's-
this is like
it's-
4
it is
mana
better
draw
than-
4.
It is better than Soul Read. I still like Soul Read, but I don't like it as much as Find the Villain's Lair.
How about this?
A 3 mana hard fuck you is better than somebody else has gone infinite and we're trying to stop the...
I mean, ideally we stopped them before, right? What about Muddle the Mixture? Do we really need that for tutoring up Merchant Scroll? It does. If we tutor it up in our combo turn, when we go off, we can tutor up Burning Prophet and then find whatever we need from there. It also finds Snap. It finds Cloud of Fairies.
It's
finds
also protection. I don't think
Yeah.
we're cutting Muddle.
Okay. But you're cutting,
But I
you want
think
to cut
we're-
Soul Read.
Yeah, I think we cut Soul Read.
Wow. Huh.
And I think we cut Thoughtcast, TBH, but...
Really? Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
We're on...
Get it gone. Get the fuck out of here.
We're going to once again return to the apparently new Maulhound deck building rule. Non-command zone synergies, you need 30 cards for. And
Yeah,
we have
and we
20
only have-
we have 20 artifacts, or
We
like
have-
19 artifacts.
We're going to have a few more with the artifact lands, but we're going to be up to like 21. That's it.
Yeah, and so it's going to be...
Oh, dude,
And
we
so-
actually just got another way to find Mystic Sanctuary. Trinket Mage tutors up Expedition Map, tutors up Mystic Sanctuary. That's really
There
nice.
we go. That's a good...
Yeah,
That's
it does.
most of a good deck now.
Dude, this is actually looking really disgusting. This deck kind of like
This
makes me
is-
want to vomit a bit. Like,
All right, now let's talk about another. It's instant speed, so we're not going to want to cut it. What about Meeting of Minds? That's the Convoke one.
Yeah, I might be on board for cutting that one. Let's see. I'm just adding Silver Bluff Bridge and
I think if this was TPI, I would be crapping myself by cutting
Yeah.
Meeting of Minds, but in
Yeah.
this one I think it's worth.
yeah, like worth cutting.
Yeah, I think we could cut it. If we're only playing, like, say we only have Melek on field and it's a 3 mana draw 2, kind of eh.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
Soul Reed's
So like
got it.
Meeting of Minds is Meeting of Minds just better than Quick Study? If we have one creature, it's the same card. It's but it requires like that we have creatures in play to be discounted, and we don't really have a lot of them.
I mean, we could
I
cut
don't think-
both.
Yeah. Could
You
cut
could-
both.
We're still at 115.
Shut up. You can
Let-
shut the fuck up.
Let's
I
cut them
think,
both. Let's fucking do it. We got to get them gone. We got so many draw spells. We're down to 113 now with 25 draw spells. And these things, we have to remember, if we ever copy any of these spells, the other draw spells we have don't fucking matter, right? If we just like draw 6 off of Mental Journey or draw 4 off of Soul, 4 off of Soul Read, or if we draw 6 and discard 2 off of like Reign of Revelation, it doesn't matter. It kind of, like we're just gonna have so many cards, right?
Right.
Let's cut a little bit of ramp too. Let's do a little bit of that. I like the ramp that we have, but we're probably gonna be around like 16. Let's just try and cut 4 of them. So the ones that are really good, do we like Firemind's Vessel? I kind of like having a 4 at the top. With a deck like
Firemind's
this.
Vessel because it's pips.
Yeah, the Urgolem's Eye and the
we're-
Sisay's Ring are a little weird because they're not.
I think we probably cut one of the 4s that's just colorless.
That's just colorless, so like Prismatic.
Well, because we had Sisay's Ring isn't in here anymore. Never mind. Oh, you already cut Sisay's Ring. Never mind. Okay. I think.
Gotta take a picture and send it to my partner real quick. She's texting me real quick.
Okay. Oof. I think we could cut either Fire Diamond. I think we cut Fire Diamond. Yeah, I think we cut Fire Diamond. Because if we look at our pips, 79% of our pips are blue. And so a ETB tapped red rock is we probably don't need it that bad, and Felwar Stone are probably going to hit somebody that has the lands to make the type of mana that we need. So I think
cut Mind Stone maybe, or maybe Prismatic Lens, or we could cut
Mind Stone.
We could cut
Mind Stone more than Prismatic Lens.
Cut Lens, cut Fire Diamond.
Okay, yeah, Fire Diamond is the worst of them for sure because the red is like not nearly as important. We're mostly blue. The Lens could go. How many 2s do we have though? So the important thing is that 2s ramp us up into 3s and 4s. So is there? But the 3s and the 4s here are really important. Well, the 4 isn't important, but the 3s are. Bonder's Ornament, Hierophant's, Lantern, Mana Geode, Network Terminal, Pristine Talisman. None of those are cuttable, not even remotely. So we are on 2s. And that would be Prismatic Lens?
Yeah, Lens.
Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 actual rocks. The other ones are not rocks. They're just treasure. So that actually, I wouldn't want to go any lower there.
Yeah, I think we're okay there.
Okay. And then 34 lands seems good. And that includes Mental Journey and Lorien Revealed, which is fine. And then the removal is good. The protection is looking good, but it's also a lot. This is like a ton of interaction, right?
Would we want Oliphant over a Mountain?
Yeah, I'm a big advocate for those.
Yeah, we're big mana assholes in this deck. So if we're big mana assholes,
so it's a blocker, right?
Well.
Yeah, it's a big creature.
It's a big blocker. I think we do. Oliphant, AUNT.
I'm gonna start saying crazy shit because we're getting into the final 10. We're getting into the final 10, so we do need to start saying crazy shit. I'm gonna start saying that Ponder and Portent, even though they're really good for figuring out the top cards of our deck, we have so many things that are going to deterministically draw everything that we don't need to play with the baby shit 1 mana spells.
Yep. Yeah, I kind of wondered if we were going to find our way to that point, even though like people look at those cards and they say they're staple. They're just, I don't know. They're not. There's times where they're not actually accomplishing what we want. And I think
in
one of
that
them.
Same vein, Telling Time kind of goes on the chopping block for the same reason, where it's really good because it can put something on top of our library, but at the point where we want to control the top of our library, we are more likely to be controlling it via an infinite than we are via some like 1/2 mana cantrip.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's really interesting because like what we're saying is that with all this ramp, we're just going to cast these big spells.
Yeah, we're just gonna go big and then go
Yeah.
home with everybody else's head in the box.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We're taking the baby with us, and giving it to the dingoes, and these things here. So if we cut telling time, portent, ponder, brainstorm, maybe even hard evidence.
Yes, cut hard evidence.
Yeah, I
It's
mean it's kind
not
of
good.
like it's kind of milk toast,
0/3.
right?
0/3 is
Just
whatever.
raw one. It's like 2 mana. Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean it's a blocker, but like we're doing pretty fine. We've got 12 removal spells,
Yeah.
12 creatures. We have 6 sweepers. Like we're
Oh, we
doing
have
we're doing good.
6 sweepers?
Yeah.
I like
okay.
hard evidence like turn 1, but
Yeah.
after
Every-
turn 1, it kind of sucks.
Every other turn we don't
Yeah.
give a
And we
fuck
can't even
about it.
flicker it, right? Like
Yeah.
so then okay, is there anything else that we can cut here? Can we walk through really quick what we're doing with Paragon Drake and Cloud of Fairies again? Because I need to know that these are like actually working with the deck.
They're not.
Oh God, I know I'm wondering if that's the
They're,
case.
they're
high-
a little not, but they
are-
give you a way to draw your deck, and whenever you're flickering everything, it gives us a way to maintain our mana count if we don't have High Tide.
But if we're flickering, we're winning.
If we're flickering,
already
you don't-
infinite.
Melek already makes it so that you don't need.
You know
high
what?
tide when
You
start
know what?
flickering.
I'm
We-
open to adding them back in if somebody can show me how they are critical to this. But I think that we're really like we're super tidy. Our combo here with Mystic Sanctuary, Ghostly Flicker, and Melek, that's where we want to be, right?
Yeah. If it doesn't get us to the Melek, to the Mystic Sanctuary Ghostly Flicker combo, and it doesn't stop us
Promised
from
Land?
dying on the way, it's all bullshit.
Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, I mean we got to slaughter the sacred cows, and you know I'm hearing the mooing off in the distance here. That yeah, I think that's the right call. We're down to 9 cuts. We're actually we're in the home stretch here. This is really
We're
good.
almost there. We're getting there. Yeah.
What
okay.
about so Burning Prophet is the same toughness as Cruel Witness and half the mana.
Cutting win cons? Cutting win cons.
Well, I mean, but I think we've demonstrated though too that
we
like
have
if
a
we're
lot, yeah.
yeah, like I think we could do a recount right now. Blink, so Blink into the Royal, Fire Prophecy, Volcanic Spite, Capsize, and then that's just in removal, and then Fireball, Rolling Thunder are the next ones. We're at 7, and then it goes 8 for Hierophant's Chalice, 9 for Lantern, 10 for Mana Geode, 12 for Network Terminal. So we're at 12 there. And then we have in our 12, and then 13 for Murmuring Mystic, because we'll make Infinite Birds.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, cut Cruel
And
Witness.
then 14 for Secret Door, 15 for Trinket Mage because it finds Secret Door, 16 for Burning Prophet, 17 for Academy Wall, 18 for Seagate Oracle. Oh, we're stacked. We are full of creatures that win us the game. Pondering Mage, I mean, they all do it, right?
Okay. So take out Cruel Witness. You're also not going to like what I have to say next.
Okay, hit me with it.
Run Away Together. Because
oh Jesus Christ!
The other 2 bounces we have draw the deck, and this is a third bounce that doesn't draw the deck unless you have another piece involved because the draw isn't stapled onto it.
Right.
Like it's still really good, but we have so much removal and sweep. We have so much interaction.
Yeah.
That how bad do we need one more piece of interaction that can't scissor with High Tide to win
it needs to scissor. It's very important. Needs to make Swahelu, Jake. Make the connection.
Yeah.
It's really high value, but it is most high. I mean, it's a high value spell baseline, right?
Hmm.
But what about, is there anything else in protection before we cut out a removal? Because I am feeling a little nervous. We're sitting at 18 pieces of removal and sweeper. It's actually 17 because Echoing Truth is categorized both. Um,
I
Still
think
not feeling Soul Read.
of
okay,
of protection, Dispel is our worst one.
really?
It's not bad, but of the protection we have, right? If the other things we have are simply better at protecting
Melek.
Melek, because like
Hexproof is kind of where it's
because
at, isn't it?
yeah, because there's no Wrath of Gods, right? So Intervene is better because it's going to
Yeah.
stop instants or sorceries going after Melek. Dispel. Basically, sorceries can get around Dispel. Sorceries can't get around every other piece of protection we have.
Hmm. Would we
Unless there
rather?
are edicts in this format.
Oh my
Yes.
God, they are. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Edicts
Lots and lots of
are,
them.
yeah. Now edicts are on the downtrend right now because of decks that go really wide, that make the edicts look really stupid. Um,
That-
but but the thing is that there's still a lot of people who will like play mono black and play Tortex and all these like recursion spells and then just go absolutely ham on edict effects because they technically the more edicts you play, the better they get, right? Like so there is
right.
that part. But most people are on like at a very maximum. They're on like Chain Devil, Fleshbag Marauder, and Demon's Disciple are the most common ones, and then you can get Slum Reaper and Rot-Tide Garganta goes another layer deeper. Some people, rarely do you
Okay.
see that many, but
With
usually there's like one in a deck.
with that in mind, I'm gonna say Alexi's Cloak because counter spells in the context of edicts existing, counter spells are more valuable than hexproof. Alexi's Cloak is our most expensive hexproof.
Are we
You're
gonna
gonna
have
make him
another creature?
cry.
Yeah, Lexi's Cloak is gonna make me weep because this card is Shroud for the rest of the game.
You
Um,
took away
Meteorite.
Meteorite.
Oh God, I'm gonna
You
suffer,
took
chat.
away your good. Now it is
Oh,
true that it's hexproof forever, which is good.
Shroud. Yeah, I
Okay,
mean
so
it's
it's
like
either or Shroud. Yeah, but we don't want
yeah,
to
yeah,
target
yeah. We
Melek.
don't
So
target
okay.
Melek
So
anyways.
if
So
it's not
let
Alexi's Cloak, it's probably Shore Up.
I am
Or
going to deviate. I think we should cut. Oh boy, so you're saying Soul Read over you find the Villain's Lair, both of you guys?
yes,
Okay, all
for
right,
getting rid of it. Yes.
cool, cool. Is there any reason we would want to keep one of those over Unwind?
Just the versatility of drawing cards and discarding cards is they're kind of fill different roles there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they are. Um,
I I think Unwind is the less valuable one because
well,
when it comes to untapping, like it's mana neutral, which is good, but we're again operating from the presumption of we're going to be breaded.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think okay, I think that the we're at 12 counter spells and 12 counter spells like or this is like protection, 12 protection spells. We have one, two, three, four, five, 6 counter spells to fight on the stack with.
Mm-hmm.
If we're dying to somebody else's shit, right? Somebody
Yeah.
else's combo, which is plenty. But then beyond that, we have actually Confound and Intervene and Dispel all play there as well. Arcane Denial too. I feel like this is a good number. I don't know if we want to go any lower. A lot of times these big blue decks though, they do make room for their combo by actually cutting not interaction but cutting counter spells. That is one thing that they will do. And then what they're doing is they're just trying to be super, super redundant, right? Like you would, instead of playing counter spells, you would play Archaeomancers. You say, yeah, I go for the combo, it doesn't work. I go and I get the combo back, and I do it again, and I do it again, and I do it again, and I do it again.
Yeah.
Um, it's a little tougher to do that in Izzet because you are like on a clock, right? Like
Mhm.
we will eventually just die. Um, and
Then
so,
I think actually if we do have so many Archaeomancer things, I think Is It Charm can go. It's because it's getting its flexibility by not being super
Good at anything.
excellent at any one thing, and we're going to be running through our deck so quickly.
Mhm.
Like we talked about, we only want the best, like the most effective version, like the most effective, biggest version of each thing, because we're going to be able to pay for it. And Izzet Charm is a like, you pay a little bit and you get a little bit of everything, and that is a little bit antithetical, because like counter non-creature unless controller pays 2, most people can pay it. Deal 2 damage to target creature, not going to kill most important things.
No.
Loot 2 is okay. We have so many other things in the deck doing that or
go
better.
way harder.
Yeah, so I think Izzet Charm can actually hit the fucking bricks.
Interesting. Yeah, this has turned out to be like one of the most overhyped cards that has been downshifted in a long time. Like people were excited that this charm got downshifted because it sort of signifies that the other charms are coming along with it at some point, which is great because the other charms are really good. And this tends to be considered a pretty good card, but I have yet to find a deck where I feel really, really good about playing it. And to be honest, this was the best I've felt about playing it ever. And now we're cutting it, and it makes sense.
We're still saying get rid of it.
Yeah, and now we're still saying it's got to go, right? We are okay. So what about this? I wanted to look at the lands with you guys. 37 lands, but a lot of these are spells. Okay, so how is there any way that we could cut our land count a little bit?
I thought we were at 34 earlier.
We're at 34, but I didn't have in there the Tidal Terror or the Shoreline Ranger. So
yeah. I think we cut. I think we cut probably 2. Listen, we just need a little bit. Just cut.
My catchphrase is "Be a man, cut a land."
Okay. Yeah, all right.
Just cut a basic for me.
Yeah, we'll cut 2. So, because what we're saying here is the number of actual lands we have is 31. Okay, and that is low in cPDH. Average deck runs, or sorry, no, we have 30. Sorry, that's very low. But at 30, we are probably around 2 lands per opening hand. Yeah, we're like 2.25 lands per opening hand. And what these other cards say is if we have 2 lands, then we find another land. So they are lands. They're consistently going to be lands. There's going to be times where we wished that we just had a land so that we could just land rock.
Mm-hmm.
But because we have all these tutors, right, that are like, all these tutors are they're combo finders, but they're also cards they're also lands, right? Like we can't ignore the fact that our land count is technically, if we don't cut them, is 37.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe we go 35, and then only 30 of them are actually lands, and then at 30 we're still going to get 2 lands in our opening hand, which is enough to cast most of our rocks, and it's enough to cycle one of these. So it will slow us down occasionally, right? But I think that's what we need to do. And now we're at 104. Esper Veltman, welcome to the chat. Heyo, currently at Mox for a Pauper tournament, so I can't stay long, but I just wanted to stop by and say hi. Well, good to see you, Esper. You're at Mox. Are you at Mox Boarding House in Seattle? In between Mauled and I?
Oh yeah, we could both launch an intercontinental ballistic missile at you, and it would hit you at roughly the same time.
About the same time. Captain Orion says 34.6% chance to find 4 or more lands in the first 10 cards. That's not great. 20.8% to find exactly 4 lands in the first 10.
That's fine. Think about how many rocks we're finding, and think about
rocks.
Also,
and draw.
Think about how quickly we're getting through those first 10 compared to everybody else.
Yeah.
Right. That's another thing that allows a lot of decks to get away with really, really greedy land counts. Is you're working. I mean, we saw it when we were casting the tournament yesterday.
Yeah.
The decks could get away on low lands if they just were able to work through 40 of their 60 cards pretty concisely.
One of the main reasons for that is the Brainstorm Ponder Preordained package, so it makes me a little hesitant to cut that if we're running a low land count.
Then what if we cut Reign of Revelation? Because that's
we could cut some of the chonkers.
That's a greedy card. And if we're on low land count, then we do need to rein in the greediness a tiny bit. So I think we
Yeah.
drop. I
How
think we
many
drop.
like big draw spells do we actually have though? We need to actually go back and look at this. Mental Journey, Lorien Revealed, Reign of Revelation, Behold the Multiverse,
Treasure
and
Cruise.
then actually we're like kind of low on the big draws now. It looks like a lot because we put in the Volcanic Spite, the Windfall, the Big Score. I guess those
We
are
have a
big
lot.
draw spells too,
Yeah.
but they're not. But they're not like we don't actually have as many as I would have thought. Maybe we need to cut some tutors. Maybe this tutor package is maybe too much.
I would be down
Mer-
with that. We could probably.
these are all lands, so we don't really need to cut them. It would have to be like, well, I mean, okay. Well, so Murmuring Mystic, I feel like this card is really important. I really do, because it's like
Mhm.
it's so important to surviving. It's an infinite mana outlet. It's an amazing blocker. This is like a commander in of itself. This is a whole deck built around Murmuring Mystic that was very good, and to not play it in this deck where it does so much feels fucked up. It doesn't like no, we
Then we're
can't cut
gonna
that.
have
No.
to cut Runaway Together. You want to
I
keep?
think Murmuring Mystic needs to stay just because
Well,
the
we'll just
survivability is really important.
yeah. So then, okay, so Runaway Together. All right, yep, you sold me on that because it's not drawing
so
cards.
efficient, but it's not getting us.
Yeah,
It's not getting us to the end.
Uh,
I think
it's got to be creatures.
I'm hesitant to take away any of our blockers, but
What about Cryptic Serpent? It doesn't have protection like Talarian Terror,
I'm gonna
and
say
it's 2
between
mana.
Solarian and Cryptic, we got to dump one of them. So I think we dump Cryptic because having the protection is better than 1 power. All right, we're at 2. I think we cut Melek.
Yep, we cut Melek. Yep, this is bad. Card is bad. Unplayable.
Doesn't draw us cards.
Esper says, anyway, good luck with the brew. Can't wait to watch the VOD. Yeah, it'll be there for you. It'll be long, but it's going to be a good one. And Esper, he also says he's in Portland. Oh, cool. Yeah, Portland's that's only like 5.5 hours away. I'm from Bellingham, so I'm just north of you. And then the Trinket Mage has other hits too. It hits the lands. We actually don't have Aether Spellbomb in here.
You are not putting another card in this deck right now. I will drive up to Bellingham.
He's gonna snip his cord.
I will find you if you add one.
He's gonna snip the.
We keep making a cut, and Alex says something, and I hit refresh, and we've somehow gone up 2. If you.
Yeah, we could cut Seagate.
Yeah, because Seagate is.
It's like worse than Academy Wall. Because Academy Wall's chonk, it's more big. It's got the bigger junk in the trunk, and it's
worse than both of our doors.
Yes. So we like Pondering Mage more than Seagate. Is that true?
Yes.
Pondering Mage is got this is its first home. Its first ever home. Pondering Mage. We're doing it.
I think we like.
We're doing it, buddy.
Pondering Mage, like Seagate, is only great when we already have the infinite, at which point we have so many other great things. Pondering Mage is great when we have Melek and not the infinite. Pondering Mage remains great when we don't even have Melek.
Yeah, it just comes down and it's going to block for us.
Yeah, Pondering Mage can stay no matter what. And
Telling Time.
Telling Time. Fuck you, Telling Time.
Get it out of here. Okay, so here we are. Look at that. So let's do a final count. We got to 100. Let's see what the timing on that is. I actually can't see. That's fine though. We have 19 draw spells. There's a couple more. We do have like the Mind Stone draws cards. It's actually more. It's Bonder's Ornament. It's Lantern of Revealing. It's Network Terminal. These cards all draw cards. Okay, so we have 23 draw, 11 protection spells involving counters and hexproof. We have 10 removal spells, and we have 6 sweepers. So that's actually technically 15 together because Echoing Truth is both. We have 9 tutors. 9 of them. We are always in every game going to hit our Mystic Sanctuary. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 ways to find Mystic Sanctuary. 2 hours and 43 minutes. Yeah, it's not bad on par.
2 hours, 43 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Yep. We have 18 ramp effects, 35 lands. We have a decent number of creatures. We actually, the Meldweb Curator, the Halo Charge Scab, and the Bloodwater Entity are all there. And we never really went back and looked at these. Are these are also kind of like draw spells, right? Are these good? Like, I have to ask, are these cards good?
Which cards? Which cards? The
Bloodwater
Archaeomancer?
Entity, Meldweb, and Halo Charge Scab. They're intended to work with Melek.
If you want to cut any of those three, we're cutting all of the high tide bullshit, because they're all necessary for any of these high tide like secondary combos to work. And I think they're also good because we're like we've given up on most of the baby shit. And so now a lot of our like big card draw spells are good, and we're gonna want to recur them. And so I think if like these three could come out and we could change the deck a little bit, but at that point, like honestly, at that point, High Tide comes out. High Tide comes out, Into the Royal comes out, Blink of an Eye comes out, because it takes apart the entire plan of, oh, we have this secondary loop of recurring High Tide as many times as we.
Yeah. Well, I guess the thing, the root of it is like these cards I put in here at the beginning, and I haven't really questioned them since. And the reason they're there is because they do cool things with Melek, right? Like they're putting something on top that we then get to cast. So they're kind of like better. They're like better in that context than an Archaeomancer, because then we're putting them on top. We're basically putting it into our hand because our top card is our hand, and then we're duplicating them. But when we don't have that, these cards are actually actively slowing us down from digging us into our deck.
Not if we only have, like, not
Big
in the
draws.
situations where we've only gotten to one or two good dig spells in the game. Like in the situation where we're winning, they can help us close with Melek. And in the situation where we're losing, they allow us to recur whatever the single best dig spell,
whatever spell we need
is. And particularly if we have one of our let's see how many of our tutors, like it lets us put tutors back too. So let's say our first attempt to tutor gets canceled. Like you talked about Big Blue eschewing counter spells to just Archaeomancer the piece back. It's redundancy for those too. Like these are really important in a situation where we're having a bad game and we need a second shot at life.
So I would say then what I'm going to be watching for, because we're going to take this through a couple of playtesting runs, is how do these feel? How does this stuff here feel? I wasn't necessarily sold on Blink of an Eye, Into the Royal, Fire Prophecy, these things not necessarily working, because these cards still work when we go infinite. We make infinite mana. We and the way these work too is that if we put no, actually those cards are important to that, because the Bloodweb, the Meldweb Curator with the Flicker is allowing us then to have two cards on top with the Mystic Sanctuary.
Yep.
Right. And then one of them is the Blink of an Eye or the Fire Prophecy or the Volcanic Sprite, in which case we then draw into the next one. Okay. I'm just going to be very curious about this. I want to see if this actually generically works, because if it doesn't, then like, what do we need it for? Because really, Ghostly Flicker, Melek, Mystic Sanctuary, that's like the core of what we're doing, right? This stuff here is like cheddar on top. And if these three slots were just like big draw spells, would we be happier?
Let's see.
What's that?
I said, let's see. Let's
okay.
run it through.
Let's whip it through. So here's a playtest, and actually what we're gonna do is let's because we have a lot of mana rocks in the deck, and because I don't want to think about how many mountains we need, let's just assume our mana is perfect. Okay, we have all of our colors. Okay, we'll add in the mountains in a second. This hand right here has the big score, but no rocks. It has 2 lands and a ponder, and a Shoreline Ranger for another land. This is like a generically good-looking hand, but it doesn't have a rock. I think because we have a lot of rocks, we'll find one with ponder. So we say we keep this?
I would keep it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we draw off the top. We go island, ponder, look at the top 3, and we're going to find chalice. Okay, do we like the other ones? I think we do, because what we can do is we can Fire Prophecy, putting... we don't like these, actually, but we'll shuffle them away with Shoreline Ranger. So we'll put this into our hand, do that, And which of those do we want more? We already have a protection spell. We don't have removal, so we'll shuffle away that one. So draw, and then we go next turn. We go island into kicked shoreline ranger, and I think that at this point we just go mystic because we already have our islands to make it work. So we get mystic, we shuffle them away, and then we go to our next turn. Felwar is amazing here because now we go. Do we go both of these, or do we just go Felwar, hold up, do this for 2?
It's greedy as hell to hold up to hold it up to do for 2. So I think it's one of those like one of those things that's gonna look phenomenal in the playtest, and then against like EPI, you're gonna be getting your shit bashed in because we have no blockers up to this point.
That's okay. So, turn 3 is fine for that. What if we do Felwar Stone and then we just Fire Prophecy something like that, and then we untap, and then we could. Do we want any of these on top? Because we can go Mystic Sanctuary, because now we have Drift. So we have Drift and Mystic Sanctuary here. Maybe we don't put anything on top because we actually want to Treasure Cruise. We could put Ponder on top.
Nobody ever hates Ponder.
Yeah, so let's do that. Mystic Sanctuary, put Ponder on top, pay 1, 2, 3, 4, Everflowing Chalice with 2 counters. Now we've got 3 mana up, and we don't really have anything to do with it, unfortunately, because we don't have double blue to transmute. So that kind of sucks.
Just colorless, yeah. Pips, bro. Pips.
The pips, yeah. The chalice is still good because it's like we can get it off Trinket Mage. Right. It's a massive ramp spell. It's like it's a 2, it's a 4, it's a 6, but sometimes this will happen. And then
it may be a situation where we would have to like hard cast Phantasms because it's turn 4.
Oh yeah, let's just do it.
And we're still playing like no creature gaming.
And we can always bounce this back to our hand, right?
Right. So this is the point where I would start to be like, ooh, we're probably going to get punched in the throat relatively soon.
Right. Do we want a big
if we don't have any blockers by this point and we start looking scary, we're going to die like immediately.
Yeah. Turn 4, this needs to be a blocker is what I'm hearing. And I think that's right. Now we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we actually could resolve Melek with Shore Up. I think that's the way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Melek... holding up our Shore Up here. Cancel. And then we're going to assume that somebody's going to interact with us. Let's Shore Up, and let's assume it survives. We're just going to use this to see what we can do with this turn. So now we know what this card is, right? How do we can we play with the top revealed? Oh, that would be such an amazing setting for them to add.
That would be very useful.
Can we do that? Oh, play with the top revealed. That's a setting.
Oh, sick. Okay.
It's like they already knew. Okay, so now we're going to have this one. We're going to untap. Do we want to Echoing Truth, double Echoing Truth, before we draw this card?
It would really depend on the pod composition if we wanted to double Echoing Truth.
Why don't
we don't know what the card below it is, and we know we can cast a free card basically off the top.
Yeah. So let's just keep this because we don't know. Like, so if we're assuming that our opponents are breathing down our neck, this might actually be something we need to cast, right? Mm-hmm. Which would just be like 2. Let's just cast it, see what happens. This is all an upkeep. And then we'll just draw this, which is actually quite nice because we're not copying it anyways.
Hey, you can Echoing Truth a creature and our Drift to get it back and transmute it for the ghost.
That's so sick. Okay. Yeah, we're really close to comboing right now, actually.
That's fucking...
That's really dirty. So, and this is also going to allow us to shuffle this. Do we have enough, though? Because we're going 1, 2, 3... We need a snap right now pretty bad.
Yeah.
Because we can't actually combo this turn. It's kind of crazy that we're even talking about comboing in this deck on turn 6. Like turn 7, this does kind of look like a combo. What if we, oh, here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Halo Charge Scab, and it's going to say mill 2, because we don't want this. And,
Right.
well, that's in there now. And then we have a land on top, and then we get to put something back on top. So what if we did, our commander is going to die here because of this, though.
Right, because everyone's gonna look at it and be like, "Oh, get him, get the ass."
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I think we died. I think we died here, potentially, because of this play. Right. Like we actually couldn't afford to do that. We had to probably ponder and like look for something and then not find it and then treasure cruise, which actually,
Yeah.
huh. Okay, well that's fine. I mean, I think this looked reasonable enough. We'll go through
Mhm.
another one. Rock, bunch of lands, counterspell. Seems fine. Lauren revealed for our Mystic Sanctuary. Play that out tapped. We can actually always shuffle this away too, so we can get it back with Trinket Mage.
Okay.
With Lorien revealed. But we're going to ramp into Lorien revealed pretty nicely. Like turn 4, we'll have enough to cast this. So let's just run out the bridge. Tapped. Untap. Ooh, Mental Journey. That's another shuffle. That's nice. Another big draw too. So we're going to change draw into draw.
All of our fatties.
So why don't we go, because we have this draw as a backup, we'll go play this, end step, brainstorm, 1, 2, 3. Ooh, this is great. Look at this. This is going to be how we live, right? So now we take and we put, what are we putting back on top? Probably like High Tide. I don't think we need High Tide, do we, Alex?
When do
Depends on how fast you want to combo. Because you could use it. You could use it to ramp into our commander way early.
Yeah, that's true.
And
So
then
what if we do?
just get it murdered turn 3?
Right.
You're not wrong.
The problem with ramping into these early big shit Izzet commanders is all you're guaranteeing is that you are the first person to get shot in the chest.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yeah.
Agreed. I haven't played at the competitive level very often, but anytime I play with a commander that wants to end up comboing off, your moral imperative is do not pop off first. Do not pop off first. Do not look like you are capable of popping off first, because as soon as you do, they take out the 50 cal and they put a hole through your dome. Yeah, and if you are like, oh, I'm going to High Tide into turn 3, Melek Izzet Paragon, all that happens is that you have a turn 3 dead Melek Izzet Paragon that now costs 8, and now you don't have High Tide, which means you're not playing him again until 9 turns later.
I think High Tide is going to be helpful when we use a rock to cast it, and then we're able to cast Melek with a bunch of other rocks up. I'm already feeling like we don't have enough rocks. Like both of these have had like 1. The other one had 2. I really would love to have more of them. But
what if we High Tided into Melek with enough mana to cast Rewind, so someone interacts, we can untap 4 lands and continue the degeneracy?
I think it's
you're assuming that they will only interact at instant speed on your turn. So it depends a lot on what Melek. Like if you High Tide into Melek and you have like 2 to 4 mana to do cool stuff with, if I'm playing against you, I know that you probably have a counterspell somewhere if you have a full grip. I also know that you probably can't end the game that turn. So I'm just gonna wait till your High Tide's done.
Yeah.
Like if you have ritual mana and you have access to blue and you have 6 cards in hand, anytime you're like, I make a bajillion mana, if it's not enough for you to finish your combo, like if I see you go to Ghostly Flicker, right, then I know you're trying to win the game. Then I kind of have to interact. But until I see you trying to win the game, the optimal solution is to just wait for High Tide to be over. And then shoot you.
I agree.
Yeah, so the High Tide is interesting. This could, if this were another rock right now, this would feel amazing, wouldn't it? That's the question to ask. Like if this was just Arcane Signet, if this was like any 3 mana rock, we would have chained one into the other and we would be sitting at all this mana. But instead I'm feeling like scared to cast it. Like if I cast it right now, we have 6, 7 mana total, which means we could go tap, Tap this for high tide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For well, no, 6. So yeah, this is looking kind of weird to me. This, I was thinking when you guys were talking, this kind of goes in the sort of like dream scenario cards, right? That we have Melek in play and it's on top, right?
Yeah.
Like this sort of like you were talking about in your short, right? This is like some like
Yeah, this is Candyland shit.
This is Candyland shit. Yeah.
Candyland, everything has gone right. It lines up how you want it to.
Let's get it out of here for the moment, especially because look, our land count is actually like our actual land count. Now these are lands, right? We are cycling them to get lands, so our actual land count is not low. But let's get this out, and then what was the rock that we would want instead, out of considering, or it's Thought Vessel, right, bro?
It's not Thought Vessel. It's anything with a fucking pip. It's anything that makes colored mana. It is anything that makes racist mana.
Dude, what about Decanter of Endless Water?
I mean I could live with that because it makes colored mana.
It makes colored mana, yeah.
It's a 3, but it makes colored mana, and we haven't ever been in a situation of like, oh, we have a 3, but we can't cost it, bruh. Like we've been in a situation of not having enough total.
Yeah.
So I would be on board with Decanter because it's gonna fix our colors.
What about Sky Diamond? Just bring that back in.
Meteorite.
Yeah. That's a good talk. Good talk.
Good times.
Good talk. Yeah.
Yeah, we could bring Sky Diamond back in.
Sky, so we already had it apparently. I just added it and it was already there. So then what are we on then? Mind Stone, which we already have, right? Yep, we already have Mind Stone.
Decanter. We don't need another 2. We need another
3. Okay. Well, prismatic lens filters, but that's probably not where we want to be, right?
No.
Okay. All right. So let's do Thought Vessel then. Sorry. I had to. I had to.
Now you're trying to give me a heart attack.
Now I'm just trying to rile you up. All right. So
put the decanter in the basket and nobody gets hurt.
Okay. Here's a heartbreaker. A 1 lander with 2 island cyclers and an ever-flowing chalice. I don't have the. I'm not strong enough to keep this hand.
It's on top, bro. It is on top.
You know. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Because we see the future, anyways. We'll just, heart of the cards, baby. Woo! There we go. Cool. Okay. All right. So we got it, and we're gonna go what? We probably want to go like cycle this so that we can play that. Or maybe we cycle this so that we can play that, and then we can play this into this, or this into this, and then, I don't know, some other stuff. Yeah, cool. Okay. So we're going to go island for that. Get the island, and then we play that. Merchant Scroll, cool. Land, Decanter, Pepega, good.
It's happening?
It's happening? Oh, Seed of the Synod was a hell of a draw there. I'm not going to lie. 5 mana. So, obviously, we want to go this. I only ever want to cast this on 2 or more. So, that into Suspend, Behold the Multiverse. Or Merchant Scroll.
But what are we looking for with Merchant Scroll? Like, is it a thing that will
just cards?
We'd be grabbing either Card Advantage or Ghostly Flicker, but if we grab Ghostly Flicker, we're probably gonna die.
Yeah, I think so.
We're on no creatures, and they're all gonna know.
Not. They're all gonna know. They'll know. So we're hitting our lands like complete champs here. And so here we might need to just hold this up and then cast this at end step, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's do that. We pay. Let's just say we've got the pips. Okay, we've got a mountain in here somewhere. All right. Yeah, we know that. Sulphurous Blast, wipe the board up. We can protect it if we need to, and let's say we have to. That's kind of fun. Let's say we have to unwind because they just really didn't like that. And then we untap 1,
Yeah, as a
2,
TPI player, they got
3.
mad as hell.
They don't like it. They hate it. And then we go 1, 2, cast this, scry 2. Oh, neither of these. Get them gone. We don't want them. And then we draw 2. Okay, that's actually Halo Charge Scab isn't awful here, right? Because we're probably like, we need a. Oh, so if we play Halo Charge Scab and then, oh, that's a huge mana play. Never mind. Okay, so we did that. Now we go to our turn. The danger is past.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have Mystic Sanctuary, but we have it. We have the combo, right?
Right,
Mystic
you have it in
Sanctuary.
hand, but as soon as you start grabbing it, right, then it's live one more turn
Yeah,
before they
exactly.
get you.
So why don't we play out a body and see what we can get out of the graveyard? Because getting back Unwind would allow us to play our commander on the next turn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we mill 2, capsize, so we can always get that back. And then we put 1 on top, which would be Unwind.
Yeah, it'd be unwind.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 to cast our commander, we need 6 and 3. Yeah, so we could 6 and then 3 for unwind. So that's good. So we'll do unwind and then, oh, but actually before we do unwind on the stack, we need to go 1, 2, cycle Shoreline Ranger to get Mystic Sanctuary.
Right.
Which actually could have accomplished the same thing that that this is doing. Oh, weird, dude. Check this out. We could have cycled Shoreline Ranger, played Mystic Sanctuary, put Unwind on top, played our commander, and then it would be available to us.
Oh. That's on turn 6.
Whoa.
Yeah, this deck's nasty.
Okay, well we fucked it up, but it's okay. We'll we'll do
Listen,
that.
in the real world, you never make execution mistakes. So you should build your deck.
You play perfectly.
You build your decks understanding that you will never, ever, ever misplay.
Ever. Yeah.
Ever, ever.
And technically, like, we're still getting a body in play, and this is more of our combo, right? Like, although this isn't needed for our combo. That's really sick that we were actually, like, turn 7, we'd be going for a kill.
Yeah.
Cast it, somebody tries to stop us, they can't. Merchant Scroll, get it, do the thing. Okay. And then the Merchant Scroll, we can, and actually, you know what we want to do is before all of this, we also needed to Merchant Scroll, right? For now people will come after us, but like we're
Right.
about to like do our thing. So that, and then Unwind goes on top, and then we draw for turn. Unwind is there. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Commander. Somebody tries to counter, or we go Unwind to stop it. We untap 3 lands, and then we go Mystic Sanctuary, put Unwind back on top.
Right. And then, yeah.
And then we go...
This.
And then it's still on, and it's still revealed, right? So how does this work? Play with the top revealed. This is like, if they only had 1 point of interaction, we win. Because we go Ghostly Flicker, make infinite mana, fireball the table.
Yeah.
I mean, that's interesting. I wouldn't go for that. I would sit there with the Unwind on top of my library.
Yeah,
Right?
that's a real
Multi-turn.
Take out and throw it at people. Play.
If you wanted to, just this is another line you could do. You could Merchant Scroll on top of your library. When you cast it, you copy it and go get 2 different counter spells.
Just put like Dispel and whatever else. Wow. Yeah. That's super sick. Wow, that's really cool. Okay, so there's a there. There is a there here. Is perhaps the better thing to say. This actually, the Halo Charge Scab was funny there because we actually didn't need it, right? Like, we didn't need it to win. We could have just gone Melek, Unwind on top. So anytime we put a card on top with Melek in play, it's like drawing a card, kind of like it's just there in our hand. It's like our 8th card.
Yeah.
Okay. let's make our deck have some mountains. How many red cards do we have? Like very few.
Not tons. It's on the Moxfield calculator. It was very, very low.
Let's just do 5 mountains, snow-covered mountains, and then we also need volcanic.
Yeah, we're on 75% blue, 25% red. So you can be very, very low on the mountains.
Type snow, right? Don't we have?
We took Scred out, so we don't need.
Oh, we don't need snowlands anymore, do we?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah, get these out of here. So 20 islands, 5.
Yeah, 20 islands, 5 mountains.
And that reduces the cost of the deck a lot.
It does, but you can't bluff Scred anymore.
That's true. That is actually true. It is strategically advantageous to have snowlands, but that's fine. We can come back to that later. We have the 2 islands. Like, wait, type. So type mountain, type island is going to give us 2, and we want both of them, right? Because we're tutoring for them, at least one of them.
Yeah.
And then, are there any other lands that we need? Oh, dude, I just realized that if we have Radiant Fountain, then we can gain infinite life.
This is Melek, not Tatiova.
If you put one more card in this deck, I am going to unplug the internet.
Unplugging the internet. Halimar Depths for probably too pip heavy for Radiant Fountain, right?
I don't even know Radiant Fountain, but
it's
yeah.
a gain 2. It's a untapped gain 2. Oh my god, dude! Sunscorched Desert wins the game. What the fuck, dude? This is like a Tatiova deck.
Yep.
What is this? Like, Tatiova genuinely uses Sunscorched Desert sometimes to like win the game. What if we literally all we needed was land? It's just, I mean, why not, right? Like,
yeah.
Sunscorched Desert. Fuck it, dude. It's untapped.
It's untapped and unpunished. Get that junk in.
Bro, we could even make our Melek infinite power with Teetering Peaks. Flicker it infinitely, Teetering Peaks, infinite power on Melek, GG, winning. Give all of our creature, make it so that the table can't block. Look at that. We have both of these in play. We make infinite mana. We make all of our creatures infinitely big, and we make all of our opponents not able to block. GG. That's how we win the game. Give all of our creatures flying. Sorry. Flicker. Okay, good. So we're not actually doing that, chat. Sorry, we didn't mean to upset you or anything. But do we want the Radiant Fountain? That's the only other question. Like, how many other colorless lands do we have? Do we want Izzet Boilerworks? Probably. Halimar Depths does allow us to reorient things. That's actually pretty good. Halimar Depths is good. Because that one's going to allow us to look at the top cards and then reorient them with Melek and cast them.
Yeah.
And then we have, okay, so then Swiftwater Cliffs also gains us life, which is nice. But we don't really need that many mountains, and that's okay if they're tapped, right? Because our mountain stuff is like, we have rocks that
our mountain stuff isn't important until later.
Izzet Boilerworks. Okay, and now we can cut mountain, island, island. 16 islands, 2 mountains, Mystic Sanctuary, Radiant Fountain. So we only have only 2 of them that are colorless. Okay. That's pretty good.
Probably fine.
Yeah.
I definitely like being able to gain a little bit of life, especially in this meta.
Yeah. I mean, Radiant Fountain and and Swiftwater Cliffs are going to keep us alive in more games than none. Pristine Talisman is going to be hugely important. A lot of damage is like non-combat pinger damage, and so cards like that really help. Command Tower. Oh, right, that card. Yeah, that one. What do we think about Command Tower, chat?
Nah.
I mean,
Better.
it doesn't synergize with your Mystic Sanctuary.
That's true. We get nothing on ETB from
Oh
Command
boy.
Tower.
Yeah, is this all making our Mystic Sanctuary really bad? Maybe there's too many of these here. Maybe we only need one duel. Yeah, we only need one duel.
If the
Right,
duels have land types, are fine. Like Molten Tributary, then there's the Volatile
So-
Fjord.
So maybe we don't play Swiftwater Cliffs.
I mean, I would cut,
Swiftwater's probably fine if
I
we're
would-
running anything that cares about artifacts. If not, it's probably whatever.
that's bridge,
Oh, you're thinking of Bridge. Mm-hmm. So
which
we've
is
got.
the one I would cut because we don't have
Well, we have
anything.
Trinket Mage. Trinket Mage can find lands that way.
Oh,
So Trinket
Okay.
Mage then can find red and blue, or it can just find blue. I cut the red artifact land because I don't think we're ever looking for just red. We're looking for mostly like
yeah.
red, blue to set up, or blue.
I feel like the worlds in which Trinket Mage is looking for Secret Door far outpace the worlds where he's looking
Yes.
for Silver Bluff.
Agreed. So we could cut Silver Bluff and then just say the only land is Seat of the Synod, and that our mana fixing would have to come from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And like our mana fixing for red is actually like still really good. Signet, Felwar Stone almost always makes red. So 1, 2, 3 Izzet Signet, 4 for Bonder's Ornament, 5 for Decanter, 6 for Lantern, 7 for mana, 8 for Network Terminal, 9 for Firemine Vessel, and then we've got treasures. So yeah, let's cut the Volatile Fjord because we only need one of these duels to tutor with the land cyclers, and then maybe we cut Silver Bluff Bridge.
Yeah.
I would be cautious because you don't want your Oliphant to not be able to find anything.
Oh, so you're saying like
I'm just saying you don't want to fail to find a mountain in your
right?
deck.
We have 3 hits. Is that good enough? I think that's good enough.
That's good enough.
Maybe we cut Swiftwater Cliffs and then we do Volatile Fjords instead, and we just like maybe skip on the life gain for that land. That seems fine. I think that's
Yeah.
okay. We do want to
Yeah.
have enough hits, and these are also islands, which is important. So, and then we have Sunscorched Desert, and we have Radiant Fountain. These are fucking hilarious. I can't
Yeah.
believe how silly this is.
It has
Um,
never been easier to find the land you want.
Yeah, it never has been, truly. Like, and if we're, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and because you're a Tatiova player, like your whole game plan is like these tutors right here. Like you play all of these, I think, don't you?
Yep. Every
Yep.
single one.
Yeah, every single one of these. This is like the combo players, like Wet Dream right here. This is all they do. So we've got Jester saying, "What does reorienting mean? Is it redirecting attackers?" Reorienting. Which card are you talking about? Redirecting attackers? I don't know. Oh, when I was memeing about the lands that make it so your opponents can't block, and then you make your Melek
yeah,
infinite power, and you commander damage kill them, give it flying, that thing. Command Tower is not in a commander deck is still a little weird for me to think about. Yeah, I hear that. I mean, to be honest, like our mana problems shouldn't be significant, but I think that's fine. And then I've got Maestros Theater and Ash Barons in here as additional shuffles for Brainstorm, and also additional shuffles for Melek, because shuffling is actually like pretty good here too, right? Shuffle the top
Yeah,
so we can get
shuffling-
another look.
Shuffling pays off a lot when you're
So
trying
are there
to.
any other shuffles that we want? Any other lands that shuffle? I mean, Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanse are both.
Yeah, and those will get us to
Basics.
islands for
Yeah.
Sanctuary.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think, yeah.
So then cut an island, cut like, oof. So Boiler Works is an interesting one. Do we like Boiler Works?
I think it
I don't
picks up
think so.
Mystic Sanctuary and lets me play it again so I can get something out
Oh,
of my graveyard
yeah.
in a pinch.
Yeah. And this also makes low land count hands really good. right?
Mhm.
Like it guarantees that you have 4 mana on turn 4 with 3 lands. So we definitely want that. And then do we cut an island? Is that okay? I feel like this is starting to get really slow, right? Isn't
Yeah,
it?
we're starting
A
to
lot of
really
shuffles.
like a lot of the things that was
Mm.
making it look like there was something to the deck was how surprisingly quick it was getting to the cheating. And
Yep.
now we're doing a lot of things that are like, oh, this is so synergistic, but
Oh,
we're
the
not.
synergy though. Oh God.
Yeah, we're
Oh, the synergy. Oh,
we're
so
synergizing
look
all
at how
of
hard
like
I can
the
win. Oh,
right
I'm Izzet, kind of
to the
Simic, but
point
oh,
that we're now guaranteeing that we don't do anything important for the first 3 turns of the game, probably.
yeah.
Whereas
Are we
before,
cutting? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah,
I think this is fine because what I was realizing that all these are all shuffles too.
hmm
And we don't need Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic. We take Maestros Theater, although Maestros Theater isn't under our control, right? So we just have to do it, but it does gain us a life. Maybe we just want more control over that. So we'll do Evolving Wilds and because you could totally see like if you're in a pinch and you really just need to like find something and you like land on top and you like draw some cards and you don't get anything, land on top, and you just have that Evolving Wild sitting there, you can crack it to reshuffle and respin, right?
yeah.
That is going to mean that we're going to like run out of we're going to need one more mountain, I think, if we do these. And then
I don't know. I
um,
feel like it's really important for us to be able to cast Brainstorm and like Arcane Signet on turns 1 and 2.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
So
But the thing is, we're only ever going to draw Evolving Wilds right when we need it. We would never have an opening hand with Evolving Wilds. We're only ever going to see Evolving Wilds, like turn 8 after we've played Melek,
yeah.
and we need to shuffle to get our win con.
Mm-hmm. I mean, is there a reason like maybe we don't play Oliphant here? I know we've got this in the blocker section, but like Oliphant's like the least useful of all these cards, and maybe we would rather just have a land that I guess Oliphant is like a land that you don't have to play to shuffle, right? So that's actually pretty good. Like this is just in our hand where we could just shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're just one. Oh wait, well no, we're there. We're 35 lands. Okay, this is fine.
Yeah.
So 15 islands, 2 mountains. Let's go make sure our colors are all copacetic here. We have 23% production for red, and there's 20% of our symbols. I think that's fine because this doesn't take into account our rocks. And then we have 77% for 56. This is looking really good. All right, chat, we are there. This deck is ready to be tested. Okay, we are ready to do the thing. What do we even call this, dude? Blink, flicker, budget.
Is it
Toddy?
Is it Tatiova?
Is it Tatiova? Okay. Competitive control. I'm just ticking these things off here.
Oh right, people look at your Mox field. I name my field for me to giggle at later privately.
Yes, understandable. Dungeons is interesting because we actually are a secret door deck, right? Like that's a way that we win. 5 color Golgari, good stuff. Nope. Jank. Yeah. It's not jank.
This is a high skill.
This is high skill. Yeah, high skill.
Focus.
It's a life gain Izzet deck. We gain infinite life in the deck, We've got Mill, no. Monarch, no. Mono blue, basically. I mean, we're kind of like a mono blue deck.
Very close to mono blue.
Yeah.
Maverick. Absolutely.
Yeah. Maverick.
Click Maverick.
Yeah, Maverick because we're basically, it's out there. It's out there.
We're redefining.
I mean, we really are approaching this deck differently than other people, I think, are. So,
yeah, as shown by Arya nearly dying of a heart attack as we
losing their goddamn mind over this. We're kind of a storm deck too, but it's just non-deterministic. I mean, it's I mean, we will get there. But X-Spells, yeah. I mean, we have Fireball and Rolling Thunder. So that's good there. I've got called that weirdo Nikola Tesla, because I felt like this was kind of had some kinship with Nikola Tesla. But I'm open to other names before
I'll
we
PayPal you $5 to call it the Goo Gripper.
The Goo Gripper? Yeah, easy. You don't even need to
Easy.
pay me. Goo Gripper. Yeah. 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 Or like ladies like these hands. You could do all sorts of stuff. Or oh god, you could get so suggestive with it. Like
Melek, Izzet Paragon, dungeon crawl, speed run any percent.
yes, we could call it. I mean, could we call him Moist Boy? He's he's got gooey hands.
Yeah.
Moist Boy.
Moist Boy plays lands.
Okay, here we'll do both because we can. Moist Boy, like that. Yeah, I mean because it's mostly blue, so it's moist.
Yeah,
And
it is moist. It is a moist deck.
yeah, it's very moist. I know people are really upset probably that we're doing that. Quantum is it? That's pretty good too. That's also good. Yeah, it's less memery, but you know.
Quantum
Okay,
moist.
so let's review real quick here as we wrap up what we've got going on in this deck. We've got Izzet Melek Paragon thing, you know, words. Izzet dude, bad guy. And we are trying to Ghostly Flicker our Mystic Sanctuary with Melek in play, targeting 2 lands, one of them being the Mystic Sanctuary, to make infinite mana. This costs 3, the lands, then you copy it, so you get 2 untapped lands twice, and then you make 4 mana for a 3 mana spell that is now on your top of your library to cast again and copy. So that's the fundamental of the deck. But what are we doing to get to that point? We have a lot of ramp, so we're moving right up the curve as fast as we can to try and play out our to basically be able to hold up counter spells, be able to play our sweepers, reset the board, you know, bounce things, interact, cast big draw spells. We have tutors to find this Mystic Sanctuary. Expedition map, the Trinket Mage finds the Expedition map, which finds the Mystic Sanctuary. The Drift of Phantasms finds the Trinket Mage to find the Expedition map, to find the Mystic Sanctuary. We have Step Through, which is actually just going to be for Murmuring Mystic here, but it also finds Trinket Mage, which also finds Expedition Map, which finds Mystic Sanctuary, because it's a wizard. This is wizard cycling. And then we have Lorien Revealed, Shoreline Ranger, and Tidal Terror that all find the Mystic Sanctuary as well, while fixing our mana, shuffling to reset the top card of our library, and working with Brainstorm. We have a bunch of sweepers to stay alive here, a bunch of removal to try and keep people off our back, and then a decent suite of protection spells to do so. And then the trick of the deck, and the thing that we've done well here, and better perhaps than the other builds that I've seen, is that we are building our infinite win outlets into our mana base, our rocks and our lands. And that's what's special. That is really unique. So we have the Bonder's Ornament. If we make infinite mana, we can then take the Ghostly Flicker and flicker Bonder's Ornament, drawing every time. We draw, use the infinite mana, flicker it, it untaps because it comes back in, and then we draw again. So we draw our deck. If we do this, we draw our deck with Bonder's Ornament. With the Hierophant's Chalice, we flicker it and we drain the table, right? We just thank you for your soda, it's mine now. And Lantern Revealing, we put all of our lands into play. Okay, and then we scry whatever card we want onto the top. And because it's on top, we're going to cast it and we're going to copy it, which means we cast Rolling Thunder or Fireball for infinity. They're copied, and we do 2 of them. So 2 of them targeting the table, okay? We waste them. And then we have the Mana Geode, which is also the same. We scry the Fireball or the Rolling Thunder to the top. There's probably other cards we could do. You know, infinite mana, capsize, bounce all the lands. This is going to put the top card to the top by flickering this endlessly to scry. Network Terminal can loot through our entire deck until we have exactly what we need. Pristine Talisman is going to actually just gain us, infinite life because we're Izzet and we can do that. It's basically a Simic deck, like we said, right? And those are the combos there. The last ones that we're going to mention are the Sunscorched Desert, which pings a player. So if we just flicker infinitely, we make our infinite mana, and then we do the infinite combo on our desert. We hit everybody for 1 until they die. Radiant Fountain can also gain us infinite life, but it's also just kind of just here to help us not die. And that is the essence of the deck. Did I miss anything, lads?
I just thought of something completely horrible that I think needs to be brought up.
Okay.
Ghostly Flicker can target
Well, no, I don't know if that works. Never mind.
It doesn't. No.
What were you
it doesn't
thinking?
work.
I was thinking
No.
if you could target Mystic Sanctuary with both copies, if you could flicker it twice. But when it re-enters, it would fizzle the first target.
Yeah, because it wouldn't have a target.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, we've got other recommendations here. Moist Massager goes on a land finding adventure.
That's a lot of words.
Wow.
If we can make that 3 words.
Or 2. Moist Massager is it's a hell of a I mean, this might get that NSFW tag if we do that. Map
Yeah.
making, hairy water. Can we talk about why it's hairy water? I don't understand.
There's a
Hairy
reason.
water, just like those words together upset me, like they hurt me.
Yeah.
Does sun enchantments handcuff us? Do white enchantments handcuff us?
We have bounce spells.
Yeah, we have bounce spells. Yeah, we have Echoing Truth.
Yeah,
we
we're
have
in Izzet
Into the
deck.
Royal.
Nothing
Yeah, we're pretty
handcuffs.
good there. We can stop it. Moist masseuse mana. Okay, yep. That's also finding every uncomfortable combination of the word moist. Yep,
Yeah.
that sounds good.
The moist
But I
maker.
think the moist maker. Yeah, the moist maker. He's the money maker. You know he is. He's all about that shit. Okay. Well, I think we have reached the end of this live stream. I want to take a quick moment to thank each and every one of you who has stuck through this live stream, who is still here. Look at that. We still got 11 of you degenerates hanging out with us while we like jerk off over this Izzet
Well-
deck. Like this is like,
Jerk off about how great red and blue are.
oh,
Let's just
it's
talk
amazing.
about our Lord and Savior, red and blue man.
Red and blue, baby. It's all you need. It's all you need. I want to thank everyone who's been here. This has been a really fun live stream. And I appreciate you all contributing. We've had a ton of interaction here and a ton of people contributing different ideas to the deck. And I think the deck is a lot better for it. This is one of the better versions of Melek I've seen, and it's because we all worked on it together. So that's really exciting. And I want to give a shout out to you, Alex. Thank you for hopping into the voice chat and helping us walk through some of these combo lines. It's been great having you here too.
Yeah, no problem at all. It was really exciting, actually. I was happy to meet Mauled and happy to be here again.
Fabulous. Yeah. And if you too want to be able to participate in these live streams ahead of time, being able to see the deck build as we're working on it in the behind the scenes through the supporter section, you can go to patreon.com/common connoisseurs, where we have patron levels from $2 a month to $5, $10, $20, and $50 a month. So there's great ways to support at a very low cost. If you want to continue to see more of this content, continue to give your friends more ideas about how they can do degenerate Izzet things to you in cPDH. So make sure to go check that out if you'd like to. But there's a free thing you can do, which is before you go, do make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the content, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon if you want to get notified about more videos when they're posted. I'm trying to be good about scheduling things out so that you can see kind of a calendar at the top of the channel of what's coming and what you can click that notify me button on so that you don't miss anything. And of course, the biggest thank you to you, Mauled. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, my friend. It is very fun to brew. Fun fact, this is the only deck I've ever worked on that I've worked on for more than 25 minutes.
Wow. So you're...
Every other deck I have ever made has been... It's been... I mean, I think I may have gotten close to 30, but like on Arena, I won't spend over 15 minutes. On Moxfield, I won't spend... I like give myself a pretty hard, I'm like half hour in and out. This deck is ready.
Oh yeah.
But I also don't build good decks. So
right. I mean, your brand is all about just
there.
Yeah, your brand is all about having fun with Magic, and that's one of the places where we share a lot there. Is you know, it's one of the things we're trying to do with folks is to show that we can, you know, is that we can play competitively, we can play to win, but we can also just really have a great time. Like, you know, we're fucking around here on live stream. We'd be fucking around if we were playing the game. So it's really important for everybody to remember that this is a game, right? We're here to have fun. So yeah, that's one of the things I really love about the work you do, and really grateful that you were here along for the ride today and to help us, you know, get to 100 cards in a deck that genuinely has like 150 great cards for it, right? That's a real good sign.
Really, yeah, really did.
Yeah, tough cuts. Tough cuts are a
like-
good sign.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me. And thank you for helping with the tournament yesterday. That was some of the most hilarious Magic that I think has ever been played.
Dude, a full like hard stop agree. That was some of the most fun I've had casting Magic in a really long time. The players in that tournament had me in like conniptions. Like I was like, dude, I was like, my cortisol levels were all over the place, dude, all over the place. If I see another player cracked Crypt Rats at sorcery speed ever again, I'm gonna get flashbacks. I'm gonna be like I was coming out of Nom or something. It's gonna just like it's all gonna flood back, and I'm just gonna, it's gonna be a problem for sure. Because I don't know if I can handle that. Seeing another one, but it was such great gameplay. Like aside from that, we all agreed in that tournament that the gameplay was super high level.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be putting this stuff out on YouTube too as well, so people will be able to go back and watch it.
We have 9 hours of footage, but coming up will be the individual matches we followed, the story of Jam, because we basically ended up following his path through the bracket 1-for-1, and he ended up champion. And then, we're going to cut it down a little bit, so it's not a 9-hour video, but yes, we will be breaking out all of that onto YouTube.
Fabulous. Great. Yeah. So folks, if you aren't following Mauled already, make sure to do that. You can find him on YouTube at MauledHound, which I'm going to put in the link down below. So if you do youtube.com/@MauledHound, you'll find the content there. He's got an amazing YouTube channel with a ton of content, some of the funniest shorts in Magic, and he has a great Discord server. So you can join up there. You can find all sorts of stuff in all formats of Magic, right? You want to tell us a little bit about where they can find you?
You can find me on TikTok, YouTube, and now Instagram, all under the name MauledHound. Both TikTok and YouTube have links to my Discord, which is where we're going to be hosting tournaments monthly going forward. It's going to alternate between casual tournaments and competitive ones with big old stankin' prize pools. The tournament we did yesterday had a $700 one, so we're going to attempt to replicate that in the future. But you can find me basically just talking shit, but you're going to like it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you know what? That tournament was free.
Yes, free to enter. Free to enter. Played on Cockatrice. No cards required. Cockatrice is a free software that gives you access, and that's going to be all of our tournaments going forward, at least for the foreseeable future, are going to remain free to enter, remain free to play in, and you can win moderate amounts of money for nothing but 20 hours of your life.
Give us your time.
20 hours of your life that I told you.
We will give you that sweet cheddar.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
a lot of fun.
For having me on. This was a great time.
This was a blast. Yeah, this is fantastic. So with that, we're going to wrap things up here. I am going to do a quick shout out here to our patrons, the people who make all of this stuff possible here. Let me just bring them up real quick, and then we're going to wrap things up here. So if you want to be listed out with these fine folks here, you can go to our Patreon, patreon.com/Common Connoisseurs, and you can join Max, Kelp, Paul, Neil, Alex, Jared, Dax, the PDH Pod, Eric, Adgan, Zach, Scooby, Chris, Mizu, William, Paul, Corey, Derek, Ian, and Noyark. All of these fine folks are putting their money where their mouth is to support the content. So if you want to join them, you're welcome to do that. We also do donation decks. So if you want to use the super chat below, you're welcome to do that in the future, and then we'll take a look with the co-host. But with that, Connoisseurs of Fine Common Cardboard, thank you so much for being here tonight. I hope you have a great rest of your day wherever you are in the world, and we'll see you on the battlefield. Peace out, friends.